Good afternoon, everyone, respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and honored audience. Law Center to Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, in association with HP Microworld, welcome you all in National Workshop and Capacity Development Program on Artificial Intelligence. Good afternoon, everyone, respected dignitaries. On Artificial Intelligence Techno-Legal Perspective. Today, we are embarking on an exciting journey into world of artificial intelligence, a technology that is not only reshaping industries but also transforming our daily lives. It is our honor to invite our esteemed guests to light the lamp and inaugurate the occasion. Please, sir. Yeah.
Sir, please.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा
Thank you, honorable guests, for lighting the lamp and inaugurating this occasion. Now, I would like to request our respected Professor in charge, sir, Dr. Anupam Jha, sir, to kindly felicitate our honorable guests. Sir, please. Today, we have with us our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ravi Shankar Jha, sir, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court. Now we have a special guest of honor, respected Minaki Lei ji, Senior Advocate, former Union Minister of State for External Affairs, Government of India. Now I kindly invite our program director, Dr. Ajay Sonawane, sir, to felicitate our respected professor in charge, sir. I kindly invite our respected professor in charge, sir, who has been a beacon of knowledge and inspiration, guiding us through the complexity of legal education and encouraging us to explore the intersection of law and technology, to kindly come forward and extend a warm welcome to our honorable guest and deliver a welcome address. Sir, please.
Honorable Mr. Justice Ravi Shankar Jha ji, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court. Honorable Minaki Lei ji, former Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture. Dr. Ajay Sonawane, who is the coordinator of today's program. Esteemed faculty members and all my beloved students. Namaskar. Good afternoon to all of you. I am having today the privilege to welcome all the dignitaries on the dais and all the participants who are here to share their views on artificial intelligence, techno-legal perspective in the premises of Law Center 2. And this afternoon has become totally delightful and enlightening to all of us. First of all, I would like to welcome our chief guest, Honorable Ravi Shankar Jha ji, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court. I have heard that he has celebrated his birthday only 4 days back, and it might have been very difficult for him to come to join us. But still, I'm so thankful that still he took time from Jabalpur in coming here and taking time out to be with us and enlighten us on this very important topic of artificial intelligence. Justice Jha has been in the High Court for a long time. He was the 65th Chief Justice of the High Court of Punjab and Haryana, and he remained there as the acting Chief Justice for 4 years. Before the Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court, he was also acting Chief Justice of Madhya Pradesh High Court. And as a judge of Madhya Pradesh High Court, he was there for 14 years. It's a long journey in the High Court, different High Courts of our country. And you might be happy to know that he studied his law course from Rani Durgavati Vishwavidyalaya in Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. His grandfather was a professor who later became the Vice Chancellor of BHU. And, you know, his family has a tradition of doing charity. And in Jabalpur, I have heard that his family had established Model School of Excellence. And that school is imparting teaching to many students since the last 100 years, more than 100 years. That school is there, and still the management is so good that many people have told me, although I have never visited Jabalpur, but some of my friends and relatives who are in Madhya Pradesh, they tell me that the school is one of the best in Madhya Pradesh. So this kind of, family, that every person in the family has done a lot to the society, the local society. And that is why he is standing tall today. He has been the judge, the justice in the different high courts. And if you learn his judgments, I just saw some of his judgments and I came to understand that he possesses an exceptional legal acumen, and his whole motto is to give justice to the needy, to those people who are impoverished. And the leadership quality that he had exhibited in Madhya Pradesh and in Punjab and Haryana High Court, many people there still remember you, sir. And they are all telling me that your time at Chandigarh as well as in Jabalpur, that was one of the best times for all those lawyers and the professors. Justice Jha's life exemplifies integrity, fairness, and a deep commitment to the rule of law. His contributions have left an indelible mark on the legal community. और इसीलिए मैं आज कहता हूं, ये जो जबलपुर के जबरदस्त जस्टिस हैं, इनके लिए एक बहुत बड़ी ताली हो जाए. Today's honorable guest, Honorable Minaki Lei ji, Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture. She is so kind that whenever we say, ma'am, please enlighten us with your thoughts, and she never says no. It's such a great quality in today's times. I am so thankful, ma'am, that you have come here today to grace this occasion and share your thoughts with the participants of today's workshop and capacity building, which is a very important topic relating to artificial intelligence. It's my great privilege to welcome you, ma'am. You are the epitome of all the legal qualities, and not only legal qualities, but leadership qualities, as you have provided strong leadership in the times of Corona, and you understood the problems of the needy. Your story of hard work and dedication set a great example for these all students of law who want to know from you yourself that what has been your story. But what I know, that your story of having fought for gender equality, such as triple talaq, sexual harassment of women at workplace, women's reservation inside and outside parliament, I have learned that these are great examples that you have set, and these examples we all share with the students in the classroom also. When you were in the Ministry of Culture and Ministry of External Affairs, you successfully stewarded United Nations Security Council presidency in 2022, and you organized various programs relating to G20 presidency in 2023. Ma'am, your presence today is a great booster to all the participants of national program. और इसलिए मैं कहता हूं कि ये दिल्ली की, हमारे लिए तो खैर बहुत बड़ी हैं, दीदी हैं, लेकिन फिर भी सारी दिल्ली के लोग कहेंगे ये दिल्ली की बच्ची जो मन की है सच्ची, और इनके लिए एक जोरदार तालियां कर लें. The participants of this program are from different parts of the country, but most of the participants who are offline, they are from the Faculty of Law, and out of Faculty of Law students, most of them are from Law Center 2. I welcome you all who have joined this program on this event. Ajay Sonawane is also there. Shailesh Tripathi ji has come. Oh, sorry. So I welcome Mr. Shailesh Tripathi ji, who is also here and who have joined today in this very important event. And Shailesh Tripathi ji, because of him, HP, you all know about HP, which is a leading business house all over the world. And he is the India Market Commercial Channel Director, Shailesh Tripathi. I welcome you, Shailesh Tripathi ji, and thank you for coordinating with Law Center 2. And Shailesh Tripathi ji has the responsibility of planning, expanding lot of commercial channel business. And I have heard that when he joined HP, then the market of HP was very less in India. But after his joining, a substantial share of market has been captured by HP. And thank you for coming today and joining us and coordinating with this Law Center too. Ajay Sonawane is also here. He has done a lot of good work and lot of efforts today. And look at the whole magnitude of students here in this hall, as well as outside the country, this whole country, that how the students from different parts of this country, they are also participating in this event. I must tell you today that Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, offers courses which somehow relate to artificial intelligence, like alternative dispute resolution, which is taught in the 6th semester, information technology law, which is taught in the 5th semester, drafting, pleading, and conveyance, which is taught in the 5th semester, and somehow artificial intelligence is also related to constitutional law, and that is taught in the 3rd and 4th semesters. So artificial intelligence, although we have not included in our any of the optional or compulsory courses, but somehow or the other, we are trying to touch artificial intelligence in the existing courses. As we all know that artificial intelligence is a incoming thing, is a buzzing word, and it all depends upon data. And today's world is data driven. The data which we normally feed in, हमें तो लगता है कि हम इंटरनेट के बिना रह ही नहीं पाएंगे. मैं एक बच्चे से पूछा, भाई तुम इंटरनेट ये मोबाइल लेके क्लास में आ जाते हो, भाई क्लास में से तो मतलब इसमें से उसको छोड़ दो बाहर. कहता है सर इसके बिना हम कैसे जी पाएंगे. अरे भाई जी पाओगे. जीना जीने की कला होती है, वो जीने की कला सीखनी पड़ेगी. आपको मोबाइल के बिना भी सीखनी पड़ेगी. Because everything you put inside your mobile, whenever you do something on your mobile, that can be captured by the mobile, by the software, and that will be circulating all through the world. अब उसी पे काम हो रहा है. Artificial intelligence is working on that aspect only. It's intelligence, जो हमारा intelligence नहीं है. It's not human intelligence, but yes, the work of human intelligence. It's not intelligence of the human being. तो हम ये जो बुद्धिमत्ता है, ये जो इंटेलिजेंस है, ये जब तक हम स्वस्थ नहीं होंगे, जब तक हम कामयाब नहीं होंगे, तब तक हमारी इंटेलिजेंस भी कामयाब नहीं होगी. और इसीलिए हमारी कामयाबी बहुत जरूरी है. हमारे मन का स्वास्थ्य बहुत जरूरी है. हम खुश रहें वो बहुत जरूरी है. नहीं तो हमारा डेटा भी खुश नहीं होगा, और हमारा आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस भी खुश नहीं होगा, और हमारी प्राइवेसी तो जाएगी जाएगी, और आप उस प्राइवेसी जाने के बाद जो रिजल्ट आएगा उसमें भी कोई जान नहीं रहेगा. तो हम परेशान ना हो. आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस बहुत अच्छी चीज है, बट अगर वो परेशानी का सबब बनती है, आई थिंक दैट इज द पॉइंट वेयर यू शुड स्टॉप यूजिंग आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस. क्योंकि इंसान अब परेशान इंसान है भाई. हम परेशान नहीं आत्मा. ए इंसान तू होता क्यों है परेशान. इंसान होके परेशान नहीं हो भाई. ये आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस कर देगी तुम्हें परेशान. ओ इंसान तू होता है क्यों परेशान. कुछ भी चिंता हो तो चिंता इसकी होनी चाहिए, ना कि हम आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को यूज करके हम क्या करेंगे क्या नहीं करेंगे. चिंता हो तो इंसानियत बचाओ. अगर आपकी चिंता अच्छी है तो आप इंसानियत, हम कैसे प्रेम बढ़ाएं, हम आपस में हम कैसे मिल के पढ़ें, आगे बढ़ें, स्वस्थ बने, अच्छा बने। चिंता करो तो इंसानियत बचाओ, और इस आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को मार्गदर्शक नहीं, मार्गदर्शन बनाओ। मार्गदर्शक बनाएंगे तो फिर आप उसी के पीछे पीछे घूमते रहेंगे। समय आ गया है क्या सोचने का। माय मैसेज इज, समय आ गया है सोचने का। और किस बात का समझने का? आप समझो, आप लॉ भी पढ़िए, आप एडीआर भी पढ़िए, आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल लॉ भी पढ़िए, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस भी पढ़िए। बट समझिए क्या? आप अपने आप को समझिए। समय आ गया है सोचने का, अध्यात्म को समझने का, संस्कृति को समझने का, क्योंकि हम आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इट इज डेटा ड्रिवन। मैं आपको बता दूं कि ये डेटा जो है ना, ये बिग डेटा, ये सब बड़े बड़े कंपनियों का ये बहुत बड़ा माया जाल है, और इस माया जाल को फैलाया गया है ये वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज ने। इसमें डेटा डेटा जहां से आएगा आप वही देखोगे ना। आप हम डेटा नहीं डालेंगे तो ये डेटा मिलेगा कहां से? दैट इज वाई वी मस्ट बी वेरी केयरफुल व्हेन यू यूज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस। वी मस्ट बी वेरी केयरफुल। समय आ गया है सोचने का, अध्यात्म को समझने का, संस्कृति को समझने का। विथ ऑल दिस मैसेज, आई वेलकम all the guests of today's program. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, respected sir, for highlighting the positive and negative aspects of artificial intelligence.
We have been joined by our guest of honor, Sri Shailesh Tripathi ji, Director, Commercial Channel, India Market HP. Now, I would like to request our respected Professor in charge, sir, to kindly felicitate Sri Shailesh Tripathi ji. Sir, please.
Now, we have the honor of welcoming our esteemed Honorable Ms. Minaki Lei ji, Senior Advocate and former Minister of State for External Affairs, Government of India. Ma'am's advocacy for justice and her extensive legal expertise enrich our discussions today. I would like to request to please, ma'am, come on the stage and enlighten us with your invaluable insights.
Thank you very much. Honorable Justice Shri Jha ji, Honorable Anupam Jha ji, Professor in charge, Shailesh ji, Ajay ji, and members of the faculty, students. I just thought I'll give one introduction which most people do not have, and that is the introduction that I chaired the JPC on Personal Data Protection Act. And I wrote the report, but before the report could be presented to the parliament, I became a minister. So the report was signed by PP Chaudhary ji, and he took it forward from there. So that insight into Indian law, insight into what's happening in the world, how data-driven economy is being controlled, how the world is moving, is something one has seen it very close up. And when Professor Jha was speaking, something was going on in my head, and I was just thinking, we are all human beings and we all have intellectual, spiritual qualities. How many of you will like to become Katputli and be called Papus? कोई है भाई? और जो है वो हाथ खड़ा करो. कोई है? कोई नहीं है ना? This streak of sovereign functionality, that streak of independent thinking, all human beings would like to enjoy, isn't it? That's what makes us human. If this quality is taken away from humanity, then that means you become a Katputli and you're as good as a Papu, because you're you're being told what to do. Time to get up, time to eat, time to sleep, time to write a judgment, time to read a book, or not even that, just feed the data and judgment is written by the computer. How many of you would think that will be a good justice dispensation? Like, let ChatGPT write a judgment. You agree with that? No, right? So we have started something called Fair Algorithm Center. And just there's a very famous scientist we all know and we all revere him, APJ Kalam. So in President Kalam's name, this foundation was established, which is started Artificial Intelligence Center, and we call it APJ Kalam Center for Fair Algorithm. Because during my experience with the JPC, what I came to know is unethical practices of many corporate structures. There's nothing wrong in using AI or computing as a tool. We've all done it. But misusing that to manipulate people, unfair trade practice, because there is a law which deals with fair trade practice. Now, it's not that unfair trade practice is impermissible if I sell you overpriced good one-on-one, but if I covertly use an algorithm to manipulate you and overprice your taxi fare, that is allowed. It cannot be, because overpricing of anything is bad under the law, whether it's done through an app or it's done in person. So we understood that many unfair trade practices are going on. You will be surprised again to know that whole lot of technology is not based in India. Technology is based outside the country. Only by a group of, say, 50 people, 100 people, the whole country's social media is getting managed. And the money is going out to manage that. There's no taxation happening in the country. So tax laws, if you make money in a country, if I sell you a book, there's GST on it. If I buy a bottle of water, there's GST on it. But if I buy a social service or a social media plan to promote myself, it's out of GST. Should that be under the law? Should that not be under the law? It's wrong for me as a person to click your pictures and use it under some fake name or publish a poem in your name, or steal your poem and usurp it as my poem. Then I'm violating IPR, right? But if through the AI the same thing is getting done, that is permitted. It cannot be. So what is happening is there is a very slight divide. There is a intermingling of virtual world with the real world. And this intermingling of virtual world with the real world is creating difficulties of adjustment. And those adjustments can only be handled through legal principles, because humanity over centuries have come up with certain legal principles, like freedom of speech, freedom to practice one's religion. If I have a freedom to practice my religion, or if I have a certain God who's my God, and I revere a certain God, but if ChatGPT abuses that particular God, because the feed into the algorithm has been such that all the biases have been fed into the ChatGPT, Hindu gods you can abuse and you don't get punished, but God of other religion you cannot abuse, because it will say it's a sensitive subject. So if you ask ChatGPT to answer you certain questions on these nuances, they will say something about Hindu gods because there is no prohibition. But if you ask the same question pertaining to other gods, the answer will be, this is a sensitive subject, I will not deal with it. That means the human biases of people who are handling these machines and machine-based intelligence creeps into the machine and machine learning. And that machine learning will produce the same output and same biases and amplified far greater as compared to human beings. If I tell you a lie, I may be addressing maybe 100, 500 people. Some added to the internet, multiplied by 100 more, right? But if the same algorithm starts multiplying it at multifold at multiple platforms, then you are extending it. You don't, somebody pays the money that this person should not be shown. So you are getting blocked at certain places. Certain other thoughts, people who are maybe low in caliber, incapable, are getting promoted because bots are promoting them and you've paid to get those promotions. So unethical and ethical, that line between ethical and unethical is getting merged. That's why we need a legal framework to handle these challenges. On the other side, it's a great tool. And when I come to law faculty or I come to Delhi University, I go back to my times, which is late 80s. During 80s, we all came from middle income family backgrounds. Many books you will not buy, you will not be able to buy. You had to sit in the library to read those books because all the foreign writers, this, that, were not available. And then you sit in the library and there were some mischievous kids who will steal the pages. They will use the blade to cut the pages. So you went through those difficult times. But with the click of a button on the computer, you can read whatever you want, wherever, whatever material you want to access. So that's a great tool. You can think based on what your reading is. You can produce your paper and have it published in the universities. You don't even have an opportunity to visit because of visa difficulties, so on and so forth, but your paper can get published. And with virtual medium, you can even be connected with those universities. So it's a huge medium to inculcate the habit of reading, learning, and thinking. The point I'm trying to make, on one side, it is a tool, and that too a great tool. On the other side, the same tool can be used to manipulate us. Which way are we going to go? Are we going to let that tool manipulate us, or we use the tool in the right direction to answer the questions which are being faced by humanity? And that distinction, a theft is a theft. An unethical use of somebody's picture is a crime. Stealing of IPR material is a theft. I learned only yesterday that some girl, and that to a lawyer, was held hostage by some people, which we call as virtual arrest. She was, in fact, forced to take her clothes off in front of the camera and things like that. And only after 48 hours, she realized what was happening to her. Sometimes you will get calls stating somebody speaking from custom department, there is a parcel, click at number 9, your identity is been stolen, somebody asks for your Aadhaar card, etc., etc. Now, those are the difficult parts. Now, all those thefts need to be punished. So if I steal a book, I get punishment. But if I steal your identity, how can I not be identified? If I publish a fake article in a newspaper, I'm liable for that. Misinformation is a crime. But if I use one of the social media platforms and spread misinformation, that gets amplified 1,000 times. And that's not a crime because you're not able to go behind the docket as to who is the perpetrator of crime. So as technology changes, our thinking needs to change. And yet, more we change, more we come back to the point that if humanity needs to succeed, then humanity needs to work under rule of law. It cannot be that rule of law will apply in real state, but rule of law will not apply in virtual state. I cannot take out the money out of the country because I will be liable under money laundering. But I can buy bitcoins and take the money out. That has to be equally punishable. And that's where we need to use technology to punish the wrongdoers. And that's where we need fair algorithms. We need fair methodologies. I'll give you two more examples. One example is recently, there was a case in US, and in that case there's a person, colored skin person. He saw the cops. It was a small offense of rash driving, not even rash, but overtaking something. He was told to stop. He didn't stop, he ran away. First offender, hasn't done much wrong except he got scared and ran away. 6 years punishment. And that 6-year punishment, do you think it's fair? Any budding lawyer who thinks it's a fair punishment? No, right? We all agree on this. It's an unfair punishment because there is a concept of proportionality. Human diktat is proportionality to a crime. Based on my color of the skin, based on my gender, based on any of those things, I cannot be punished more than the normal offender can be. In this case, the judgment was written by AI. And this guy was sent for 6 years punishment. Because this happened, Europe got little jittery. So Europe brought a law. And under that law, European Union said that human thinking will not be done by the AI. So under European Union law on especially AI, they have made it mandatory that thinking will only be done by the human beings. You can collect data, you can do whatever, but the thinking part, writing of the judgment part cannot be done by AI, or you have to disclose mandatorily that AI's algorithm is based on this. And when we ask for fair algorithm, I'll give you a second example. The second example is if there is a woman who has low battery on the phone and she calls for a cab. AI has identified it's a woman. You would check it whenever, whichever. I'm purposely not naming the platforms. Any platform, if you're using, knows you're a woman or you're a man. So AI is working, okay? They're capturing the data. So AI knows it's a woman whose battery is low. You will be charged more for the fare. If it is midnight or past midnight and your battery is low and you're a woman and you're standing at a place which is little solitary, you will be still charged the most because your vulnerability quotient is higher and machine is learning that. How fair is that? Is it fair? In real life, if I travel 10 kilometers, I pay X price, whichever time of the day. Now, this unfair trade practice is going on. And when you ask that please disclose the algorithm, the answer is algorithms are IPR based. We cannot disclose. This is my patent. But your patent is bringing unfair trade practice, which is impacting the real people in real life. How can that be allowed? On the other side, and I have done this experiment. Again, I'm not naming the platform. I was sitting with a group of friends, and that is, I'm talking of what? 7 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. And I was saying, your machine is listening. And like, yeah, tu na hyper hai. Like, chal, abhi experiment karte hain. So close to my tab, I say, you know, I want to wear a red dress and a black clutch and red heels. I'll never wear that dress, okay? I purposely did this mischief. In my life, I will not be dressed like that. But I wanted to show these people that this is what is happening. And suddenly on the platform, cut, come the advertisements. Dress is available, shoes available, color is red, color is black, clutches, buy. And I said, hey, dekha, करके देख लेना भाई, कोई भी करके देख लेना. Your machine is listening. How fair is that? Pushing you to buy certain things, where they are checking your interests, they are checking your timing, they are checking which hour of the day you're on the net, what you're thinking, and then manipulating that, making a papu out of you. अभी नहीं खरीदना यार, वो जबरदस्ती तुम ऑर्डर करोगे. That's why I ask कि कितने लोगों को पसंद है कठपुतली बनना? पसंद है किसी को? You see, we are all lawyers. The biggest thing with us is, irrespective of how well or how badly we do in life, that streak of sovereignty, that integrity, that human thing, in Punjabi we call it anak. We all have, all of us, that ego, that being, that power, that I think for myself and I think for others. If that autonomy on your body and mind is taken away, are we not being enslaved? We are being enslaved. That's my point. And that enslavement is not a good thing. Right from Alan Turing, who cracked the code, to Shannon, who made the computer, who could play the chess and beat the grandmaster, to the present day that ChatGPT will write letters for you, it is not the same thing. That submission to a machine and that sovereignty, that integrity, that anak is what is being taken away, and you're being enslaved. I think human beings need to remain awake to that learning process and use AI and use all these things as a tool rather than be submitted to the tools and become the papu. And I have another thing to add, and that is, I was talking to some people yesterday, day before, a couple of times, some universities and schools, and they were all talking about what a fantastic uh, arena, smart classroom, so on and so forth. And I told this girl, I said, look, if I were to be asked, I will take out the smart classrooms. I will ban the internet for school kids because I want them to think. The smart classrooms are producing unsmart kids. And I compare myself with my mother. I always say my mother was far smarter than I was. Her calculations were far superior than I had. She could count half, quarter, two third, like this, because we learned mathematics differently. She learned mathematics differently. And she used to say, adha pawa, adhaya, dhaya, etc., etc. And 1 second she will say, itna paisa hua. Are bhaiya galat bol rahe ho, itna hua. And I'm like, yeah, how does this woman do it? So mental maths, which Indians were so good with. The tables we were so good with. Numbers we all remember. And worst is when we all got cell phones in our hands, we forgot the numbers in our heads. So I come from a generation which had seen a kala वाला टेलीफोन उठा के कमरे के कोने में जाके उठाना पड़ता था, घर से बाहर निकल के पड़ोसी को आवाज मारनी पड़ती थी, मल्होत्रा आंटी आपका फोन आया है, एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. तो वो चीजों की वजह से कुछ नंबर भी याद होते थे, कुछ नाम भी याद होते थे, एंड अब वो सब हम भी भूलने लगे. So smart technology is producing unsmart people. I want smart people to be produced. So using AI, like distance learning, for example, there are kids who are sitting in the interiors, who may be brilliant kids, brighter than the brightest, but they have no access to education. We need AI for that. We need smart classrooms for that. But what you get when you play in the sand, when you kick your friends or your friends kick you, that learning can never be replaced in a smart classroom, and that learning needs to continue. So using technology as a tool has its benefits, but being victim of the same tools has its disadvantages, and all the data that we keep feeding in. So localization of data is another important aspect on which India needs to work. Last point, that while there is ample conversation happening in the country on the software part, because our progression has been on software designs. And fortunately, all the Googles of the world and others have been designed and worked upon by the Indian scientists or Indian engineers. So we know the techniques and we are very, very smart and we are very, very good. But in this entire process, we were doing the coolies job. So we became coolies only, carrying the burden of others. But we lost out on the hardware. And today, what has happened in Lebanon has taught us that if a pager can be a target, imagine what all targets are possible. So we need to work on hardware, because all the dangers of AI, intelligence gathering, spying, etc., lies not only in software, because I gave you the example of platforms and so on and so forth, but it gets done by hardware also. To shift to the old skills, electronics, electrical, civil engineering, and we need to go back to those skills which we have missed out over a period of time because the money was on the soft skills part or software creation. With these words, thank you very much. Let's keep innovation alive. Let's keep thinking alive, and let's be smart or not let anybody make a papu out of us. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are honored to have benefited from your wisdom, and you have beautifully highlighted the challenges of virtual world.
Law Center 2, in furtherance of its academic endeavor, wishes to continue its research work on AI. Therefore, as a part of this workshop, we have received over 250 abstracts, which have been now compiled into a souvenir. I now therefore request our esteemed dignitaries to kindly unveil the souvenir, which will eventually be turned into a book. So please. We are also joined by a special guest, Dr. Rajiv Bajpai sir, faculty of IIIT Lucknow and advisor to Government of India in online mode. Dr. Bajpai sir's insights into technology and policy have been invaluable, especially in the realm of artificial intelligence. As an educator and researcher, he has published extensively and mentored students in cutting-edge technologies. His advisory role to the Government of India includes providing expert input on technology, policies, digital transformations, and cyber security. I thus ask Rajiv sir to please share his valuable experience with us. Sir, please.
Thank you. Thank you, eminent members and guests, especially Justice Jha, Minaki ma'am. Few of them are really a role model for us, and we have learned a lot from you. So when Minaki ma'am was talking about certain scenarios, I totally agree with on that part, and she has raised a very valuable questions. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are diving into a space basically where AI meets law. And when I started working on AI, I was not aware that it is going to capture market so so closely that everybody is going to ask about how AI is going to impact our life. Uh, Before going further, let me share a interesting incident. So, few days back, I was sitting with Subodh Markandeji, who is also a senior advocate. So, I asked from sir, अगर हम सारे प्रोसेसेस को फॉलो करें, लेट्स से दैट ए से बी पे जाएं, बी से सी पे जाएं, जो डेफिनेशंस डिफाइन करी गई हैं, तो क्या कोई भी जजमेंट को प्रिडिक्ट कर सकते हैं? सो सुबोध मार्कंडे सर सेड, राजीव, लॉ इज अनप्रिडिक्टेबल. So I said, sir, why? But ऐसा क्यों है? But because if law is totally perfectly defined, there is a proper CRPC, we are following everything. So we are able to predict the judgment as well. So he said, Rajiv, ऐसा होता नहीं because context is important, human intelligence is important. And when I was arguing with him, what he said, Rajiv, अच्छा ये बताइए आप AI की जो algorithms आप use करते हैं, क्या इनसे बिल्कुल एक्यूरेटली सब कुछ प्रेडिक्ट किया जा सकता है? Then I started thinking he is also right, because when we are started using the algorithms, they are also not 100% right. We always say that 95% accuracy, 96% accuracy, 80% accuracy, but they are not always right. So we need to explore how is making changes, how is AI impacting our life, and how we can use AI ethically, which Minaki ma'am has said very correctly. Because when you start your day and when you end your day, everywhere AI is involved. So for example, when you start using Google Map is totally aware that where you are going. When you're talking to someone, your phone is listening everything. Very great example is given by Minaki ma'am. What she said that, let's say that you are planning a travel. Your phone will listen it and it will start showing the ads. It will start showing the ads related with the flights, with the hotels, which means that without our permission also, okay, when we are installing certain applications, it will ask, okay, are you agreeing to share the data? Nobody bothered about that. And after that, it will start showing the ads, which is totally a matter of a privacy. Like it is violating your privacy. So we need to think that how we are going to answer these questions. Now, if we'll talk about AI and law, so I can say that AI is making waves in the legal world, from privacy regulations to predictive analytics. And on the lighter side, I would say that don't worry, robots will be giving, no robots will be able to give legal advices. How much advancement we are going to make in the legal world or in the AI world, I can say that when you need to file the writ petition, it is going to be by the humans only, not by the robots. So I'm not able to see my slides. Can you show me the slides? Yeah, go ahead. Please move forward. Now, those who are law students, those who are not aware that what AI, I would say that Professor John McAfee said that AI is about making machines intelligent, though not intelligent enough to dodge legal regulations apparently AI role in privacy is becoming increasingly relevant. So again and again, the same point is coming, how AI and privacy is related and how AI impacting your privacy. So, like as scenario has been changed from last couple of years, lot of data has been generated. From last, I think, from 2013 onwards, AI has made a greater impact. Before 2013, it was only in academia. People used to do a research, but now it has changed everything. What I want to convey that it's about balancing innovation with responsibility. Because if you are going to make machines very smart, don't make them too sneaky. So here again, the responsibility is very, very important. And there, in this particular figure, that how artificial intelligence are related with all these applications. So we can say that artificial intelligence is a set, and these are the subsets. And we need to use all these subsets very carefully. So when it was started, we used to work on the text part only. So what we were doing, we were scraping the text from the web. We were working on that. We were doing certain analysis. We were predicting certain results. Nothing more than that. Then it went to text to audio, and then it goes to video mode. And now what we are doing, we are working on the multimodal part as well. So data is available in the multimodal way, and each and every aspect has been analyzed. It is used in different ways. For example, like the kind of images these days are creating and the fake images, it is really a challenging problem. People are working on it, how to stop that. And now certain results are also coming that, okay, how we can detect that, okay, this particular image is a fake image or the real image. We got success, but problem is that we are able to predict after it has been posted. So damage has been already done, and after that you can claim it that, okay, it is a fake image. We need to find out the ways that, okay, before posting or the moment it has been posted on the social media, how we are going to stop it. Go to the next slide. Now, here is the interesting part. So those who have seen the Marvel movie, it is like a Marvel movie where AI is the villain and we, the humans, are struggling to keep up. Privacy breaches, regulatory compliances, ethical dilemmas, all are part of the storyline. And we need to discuss how to keep AI on the straight and narrow, or as I like to call it, how to keep robots from landing us in court. Move ahead. So here are the most important pillars of AI and privacy regulations. I can say that we are in a regulatory jungle, because when you talk about the GDPR, California Consumer Protection Act, Digital Personal Data Protection Act, EU AI Act, USAI bill. When I was in Singapore, I was working with the Singapore government, and they are very, very stringent about data protection. So there was a specific law was passed in Singapore, that was a PDPA, Personal Data Protection Act. And they are so stringent that even when any technological company wants to use the citizens' data, they need to take the prior permission. Unfortunately, in India, there are laws, but still it is not applicable as it is required. So we are still lag behind. So I think we need a stringent application, stringent execution for those kind of bills. As Minaki ma'am said that she has also contributed greatly in the passing certain laws. I think we need to revise our Indian laws in the context of AI. And I think India's AI Advisory and Digital India has already drafted a bill, but it is not passed yet. And still, it needs lot of revision. Because, when we have started, it was started from the AI, it was started from the machine learning, then deep learning. Now it's a generative AI era. And after 2-3 years, it is going to be changed again. So if we are not going to revise our laws, I think we are not able to capture, or we are not going to work on the compliance side. So that are very, very important. Now, we can say that the use cases in every aspect, AI has been used: predictive legal analytics, fraud detection, data anonymization, surveillance and compliance, and intelligence legal research. So I have used certain use cases when I'm talking about intelligent legal research. In this particular scenario, AI could be very helpful that, okay, it will provide you legal researches, certain related judgments. But until unless the human intervention is not there, I think, and I'm sure that we are not able to use these tools properly. So human intervention is one of the most important aspects. And when I'm talking about the predictive legal analytics, it is not giving a great results because there are random answers are coming. Let me share one more thing. So I think in UP, there is a program is going on where like judges are used to learn about the AI. So they have got the task that, okay, they need to translate a judgment with the help of AI. And when they were doing this particular assignment, they have used Google Translator. And funny part is that the translator has translated the judgments, but in the most funnier way. So the Hindi is the Hindi which is coming, बहुत ही ज्यादा उसमें ऐसा लग रहा था कि क्या हिंदी यूज करी है, और जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट था वो टोटली चेंज हो गया था. So all these tools are there, but I think without human intervention, it's not possible to use these things. Now, another aspect is, can you please change the slide? Now, future directions in AI regulations. So dynamic regulation, as I said earlier, regulatory frameworks need to be adaptive because the market is changing. New technology is coming every day. Future is exciting for AI, but kind of like your first time using ChatGPT, the kind of responses you are getting, you need to understand that. And if anybody ask my opinion about ChatGPT, I would say that the first version of ChatGPT was brilliant. It was nice, but after that, though it is giving a great results, but you know what happened? The first version was not trained with the synthetic data. Now, the another versions which has been launched, they are trained with the synthetic data. So it's very difficult to find out that, okay, what this particular data is synthetic data or the real data. It's very, very difficult, and a lot of work is required to do, a lot of research is required to do. I can say that AI could become our greatest legal ally if we can use AI responsibly. But if you mess it up, we may all end up reading about it. Different kind of news we all are reading about it. So if you are start reading or start learning AI properly, Professor Anupam has also said that, okay, they are here in the department, they are teaching law and AI. I would suggest that certain AI specific courses are also very important for the law students. So they are able to understand that, okay, how technology is impacting the legal practices. And in the last, I would like to say that if we are able to use it responsibly, then it can do wonders. But if we are not going to use it responsibly, it can create a great mess. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajiv Bajpai, sir, for enlightening us with these valuable points through such educative and informative slides.
Thank you.
As we will now announce that our special guest of honor, Ms. Minaki Lei ma'am, is now leaving. So I want that please everyone stand and pay her gratitude. Thank you, ma'am.
Now we are privileged to have Shri Shailesh Tripathi sir, Director Commercial Channel, India Market at HP. His leadership is integrating technology within the commercial landscape is commendable, and we look forward for Sir's perspective. Please, sir, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable Justice Ravi Shankar Jha Sahab. Ajay, Dr. Anupam is not here. So I think, thank you first of all, giving me the opportunity, being part of all of, this forum in the Faculty of Law. Being part of corporate last 25, 27 years, we hardly get chance to talk to the young people like you. And today the subject is very, very critical, very important, And we heard Ma'am Minaki Lei, what she was talking, and very well. I think she's spoken very well, and she's a great orator otherwise also. I think when we are talking everything, one critical thing, wherever we go, and that probably the importance of this room, the framework of the law framework is very critical. And in today's, when we are talking AI or technologies and any jargon, somewhere that guardrails of the law is very critical. And I'll talk little about the AI because, AI is a buzzword and people, different interpretation, and that's the way word moves. That's the way salesmanship moves in the word. That's the way marketing of the word moves. Probably important to understand what is the real meaning of AI and how all of we can use it. So before going to AI, I want to talk two things, since I'm talking to young crowd here. I'm firm believer of one thing, that change is the only constant. Wherever you started, life is changing. Earth is moving with a certain speed and life is changing. And the inherent behavior of a human being is resistance toward the change. These are two dichotomy, because change is happening, is a continuous process. If you ask me, even, I have seen people staying in a smaller house, taking a shortcut. They don't want to change. In spite of, if you will change, it could be better. I think technology is something you cannot avoid. And adoption of the technology in a right manner is a task in front of us. And while I'll try to explain a bit of AI also, because, being a technology company, it's my job also to explain to the people that, AI hota kya hai. I'll tell you a first example, a very positive example of AI. You know what happens if you go to US? One point of time, there is a CT scan, which, for the cancer patients. That reading the CT scan was the highest paid job for the doctors in US, because most critical job. You need to be very accurate. And that job, I'm just talking about 10 years back, it's completely off to the doctors. It has taken by the computer. Now, none of the CT scan, which, for the computers, it is not done by the doctors anymore. It is 100% from the computers, because it is very accurate. You cannot have, you have seen like this, your vision is like this, sometimes you miss something, computers cannot be. So I'm just taking this example of positivity of, saying why I started and what Ma'am Minakshi Ma'am was saying, the guardrail of the thing. So moving, how technology moves. Technology moves in the building blocks. If you see human mankind, probably, first we had this stone arm we created, and then fire could be another big change, then wheel could be another change. I think computer, I also feel one of the change which has changed the human mankind. That's so critical. Now, I'm in this industry last 30 years, and I have seen the building blocks of the computer. When I was doing my engineering, 86 was one computer. When, there's a big floppy used to be there, and floppy was like, some very, and this is 1.2 MB floppy, okay? From there, I have seen the journey, now terabyte. I was just before coming here, I was at one of my centers, where we have, I think, some tons of terabyte hard disk in a small machine. So that kind of transformation happened. The technology moves in the building blocks. We have seen a lot of things, computers, then cloud, data centers. The next building block is the AI. And what is technology is doing AI? And let me explain you, because you guys, when somebody talks to you and you're coming in this seminar, you should be enriched with that. The computer is based off, first it was based off what computer does. It has a processing speed, right? And it has a lot of memory, where you can store it. But after that, what happens? These are two elements, storage and the CPU. Then people realize that I think graphics is very critical. Only data analysis, analytics is not important. Then one more component added into the computer, which is the GPU, graphics processing unit. Now, whatever we are doing, from there to the next technology, one more building block is getting added in the computer. And that has transforming a traditional computer into the AI computer. Why am I explaining you? Because you guys should be aware, what not the buzzword, what happened. Now there is another building block is the NPU, the neuron processing unit. And all of you are aware of that. In a simple language, what computer is doing, from like previously it was working from the instruction sets. Now there is already library available where the instruction sets are stored. So processing speed of a computer, I'll give you a very different example. आप जब घर में खाना बनाते हैं तो पहले आपने ना फ्रिज में सब काट के रख लिया है, सब्जी भी, आटा भी, ये देन आप खाना बनाना बड़ा आसान है ना, आप गए अपने फटाक से सारी चीज निकाल लेने का. अदरवाइज यू हैव टू कट एवरीथिंग एंड क्रिएट द फूड. So now this AI is helping you with a lot of instruction sets available for your use in different libraries. And in place of one unit, which is CPU, graphics is very powerful, and the neuron processing unit. I don't want to confuse, it's not a science class, so isse zyada main batana nahi chahta. But when we are talking about what, as I said, from a doctor's job, I think in the field of law, we are a poor country with the 1.5 billion people, and everyone wants justice. Human is a human, and everyone have full right to have whatever, rich or poor, justice has to be delivered to everyone. That's the thing. I think AI will play a very big role. Nowadays, if you see, we need to cut across the things to the pieces. The basic form of justice or basic information about the law, which is very difficult. That is required over a tip of a button. Now, there, if you see, with the current generative AI, and AI, I think I'm not repeated with Minaki ma'am explained. Generative AI, how it works, technology, you are getting captured everywhere, right? I'm coming here, my Google phone knows, Apple phone knows what I'm talking, they are listening, the mics are on. You don't switch off the mic of the phone, right? That's why, when we were saying you are looking for something and they start throwing it back. That's the business model which Google created long back. And probably I was also not understanding why Google is giving so much information to me without any cost, because they are tracking you end to end. They know more than your wife knows you, or more than your relatives know you. They know what website you visit. They know which are the places you go, where you work. So the data being captured about you, and then training the data, training the devices on the basis of the data. Now, when we talking about the law, I think the volume is the critical mass, huge volume. And if you get into, my friend had created a very big presentation for me, which I'm not reading out for you. But I think law, AI will play a very, very critical role. One, assistance of the justice and the legal, and a basic level of legal assistance, I think needed and required to every human being, which is not having accessibility to probably the lawyer and to the system. That can be provided by AI or a tool. If we create a good app or the tip of things with a chat board we can create. If this is the thing, what should be the thing, and everything accurate to the core. So those kind of use cases we need to create and think of. All of you, when you are thinking about any task, think that how the technology is going to enable you with the difficult task. Anything in the life doesn't come with a positive, it always has negatives. I think we need to ignore that. Obviously, when we are going and talking about all AI things, there are a lot of negativity. Data security. I was talking to someone like that feature we have. HP have a lot. You're printing, all the critical documents, probably, sir, we cannot print and somebody take it from the printer. We have two-way data security. You have printed only yours, till the time you're not putting your thumb scanner there or your card there, it will not print. Printer will not come out. So you're secure that I'm printing, and then I'll go once I finish the printing, I'll take all the print out. So, so many things, and data security is so critical in terms of in judiciary system. Another thing, and we are talking, we have to reach out to India is changing. In last 10 years, I think one very good thing happened, and I've seen, that the lines are getting blurred. I come from UP, very pure hinterland of UP. Lines are, and last 30 years I'm in Delhi. Lines are getting blurred from upcountry to the metros. The accessibility of internet things are making things very easy. So, in the scheme of the new things, adoption of the technology at every level is absolutely critical. And now, if we need to take it justice to every single human being, I think video conferencing also going to be very, very popular. And to the extent you can see, you can secure, no breach of data. So I can talk more, but I think in the interest of time, I hope I will able to explain you what is AI. And any questions, I'll give you my mail ID, or I can put across. Yeah, please. You can ask. Yeah.
Honorable guest, respected sir, I bow my head as a student and you are our guest. I have a question. You are from technology side. I am from the legal side. As a law student, first of all, I want to take an advantage from being Haryana and having Honorable Mr. Justice, Chief Justice Shankar Jha, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court. As you told about us about the AI, but can as our honorable ex Chief Justice from Haryana and Punjab, I know from his name that he is not from Haryana and Punjab, but when he I can assume कि जब वो cases को handle कर रहे होंगे तो वो ये देख रहे होंगे कि वो what kind of a society is there, what is the social difference in the both society. My question is, if we introduce an AI machine as a judge, will the machine will be enough able to understand the normality and the rituals of such a diverse society, the human emotions as a human can feel?
Okay, a very good question. So, one fundamental, be very clear and to everyone, AI is not going to replace human being. Otherwise, it will be a very different thing. And the justice, giving a judgment, who is right, who is wrong, it's such a critical, I think, the highest power of the brain, where you decide, you are in all capacity that this guy should be punished or this guy should not be punished, will not get replaced by the AI. One flat answer to it. While this is one, but AI can always assist you in analysis. because you have a huge data. Like, I don't know, I'm not referring to any data point, huge amount of cases where evidence has to be reviewed. Correct? Because, when it's coming to the judge, honorable judge, he has to see what are the facts and figures and other things. On the basis of that, he can take the right decision. So AI can only help you in that, not the replacing of a, judge for his judgment. No, that cannot be done. Thank you. I hope I answered you. Okay, so thank you very much. And thank you, Dr. for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate your emphasis on importance of AI. As you have rightly pointed out, that change is the law of the nature. Well, thank you once again, sir.
Now, very respectfully, we have the honor of welcoming our chief guest, Honorable Justice Ravi Shankar Jha, sir, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court. Sir's dedication to justice and legal reform has inspired many, and we are grateful for his auspicious presence today. Most humbly, I would like to invite our sir to share his invaluable insights with us. Please, sir.
Having heard illustrious speakers and being the last to speak, I start with a prayer of Ano Bhadra Krato Yantu Ishvata. Let noble thoughts come to us from all sides. I think the entire spectrum in pieces has already been placed before you. So, of this topic. So I think my task is simplified to a great extent. I'll just assimilate it for you, formulate it so that one thing should be very clear in our minds. We are all talking about adopting AI in the legal field and its use and other things. Practically speaking, we must be very clear in our mind that we have no choice. We are already into it. It's not a question of adopting AI. It's a question of getting used to it, adjusting to it, and using it in the proper way. Because you are the generation which is practically brought up on AI. Your 90% of your knowledge is AI based. You hardly open any books. My own sons, when I ask them about something, they'll immediately pick up the mobile or open the laptop or the computer and come up with some information. And I'll tell them, there's a book lying here. Why don't you pick it up and read it? This is very easy. So you see, we are now living in a world where AI is into us, whether we like it or not. So the question of adopting it doesn't arise. ये तो बलात हमारे ऊपर चढ़ा दी गई है. इसको हम avoid कर नहीं सकते. We are living with it. The question is, how useful is this for us? And what is its use for us, lawyers or judges in the legal field? You see, AI is very helpful. He's telling you about its uses, and I fully agree. Because I won't take you into the details, but I'll tell you in the legal field today, income tax returns are filed online, assessments are made online, GST returns are filed online, assessments are made online. You apply for licenses, permits, this, that, which are all requirements under statutory provisions, even for motor vehicle, this, that, everything is done online. And that saves a lot of time, saves a lot of money, saves a lot of processing time. So it's absolutely essential. Admissions are, you want to apply for an admission in a college, online. You want to appear in an examination. You have must have appeared in this CLAT and other things, online. Appearing in the examination, identification check, all that done by AI. So you see, AI is assisted working is now a part of the system. Education, defense. I mean, today, probably the army would not be able to survive if it would not take the assistance of AI. You just given the example of what happened in Lebanon, pages. Weapons are now no longer the days when you could fight with a sword or a gun are gone. You are sitting here today, we are talking here, we are enemies of somebody, and next second the whole building is vaporized. That's what happened. So it's Star Wars. And Star Wars means AI. So it's defense, it's education. Healthcare has been using AI for decades. All your pathological reports are AI generated. He just told you your ECG is read by AI. Your reports are now analyzed and the results are given by AI. So you would look at any field, whether it's education, whether it's defense, whether it is healthcare, whether it is motor vehicle, whether it is taxation, administration, entire administration. Now your land records are all computerized. Who owns so and so khasra number, so and so piece of land? You punch in, there's a software, and you come to know this person owns this particular piece of land. Everything AI is now an absolute integral part of the system. So the issue that we are discussing, whether we should adopt it or not, doesn't arise. It's already within us. We are living in ether if we still think that we have the choice of either adopting it or not. We have no choice at all. It's already with us. And so you see, AI is now a very, very important part of the system, very helpful. Broadly speaking, in the legal field, you can divide the use of AI into three broad categories. One is data collection, information collection, in the sense that you use SCC, case mine, this, that, or you want information about laws, so you punch in, so you're collecting information about this. This is one use, compartmentalized use of AI. The other use which is now developed is reading, analyzing, preparing drafts and documents, contracts, your notices. So many things are now prepared by these softwares. The third is the one which the young lady raised a question about, generative AI, where you're dealing with AI which also has a bit of the ability to analyze and give you some conclusions. That's the third level of. Now, all of you, I presume, must have used these search engines and softwares and finding out case laws and other things. I'll tell you, when the first one was introduced, it was SCC online. Not online, I'm sorry, it was SCC at that time. It used to come in CDs with a key, and you had to plug in the key, and then if they would identify you by the key, and only then the software would start working. So I was one of the first who purchased it. I became a judge in 2005, and I was in fact notorious because I would sit on the dais with a SCC online open. The reason was I just wanted to verify if a judgment is cited, whether it's been referred to subsequently or whether it's been overruled or it still exists. So you see the verification. But you give in a search and you'll get a whole list of cases. And then you have to sit down with that whole dump and then segregate the useless ones from the useful ones, and out of all the 10, 15 that you get, maybe one would be useful, or then otherwise you would have to change the search, specify it still more, come up with another bunch. So thinking that you just punch in something and you get the answer, it doesn't happen with AI. You just get a whole lot of material. It's like you want to purchase something on Amazon and you say, I want ABC book. And immediately the window will pop up and you open Amazon and it won't give you this book. It will give you a list of 1,000 books. Now you have to scroll through each one and find out what you want. So AI there again is a tool that you use for information out of which you have to work hard again. When this was not there, we as lawyers, we would take out the digest, we would take out the book, we would read the commentaries, and perhaps at times come up with a solution much faster than what SCC would give you, or any of the software, because it would dump so much on you that it would take much more time going through everything and coming up with the solution than searches have now been refined. And but then again, I was talking to a judge and he said, I wrote a judgment and I put it on the spell check and thing. And he was imposing fine on somebody. And the AI read fine as good. So it suggested use the word okay instead of fine. Now the meaning totally changed. You see, this is where AI puts you in trouble. So this is one aspect. The other aspect is this contract drafting, analyzing. Again, here I'll tell you my own case. I was leasing out a part of my ancestral property, and the lessee is a very big corporate company, having a whole set of legal team, big legal team with young people like you on it. And what is a lease? If you actually look at it and you studied the law, you'll know it just needs 10 clauses. So I said, okay, draft it out. And the legal team of the company came up with a 40-page lease. I said, what is this? So it was a computer AI generated. All 99% of clauses were not required. But then because they were charging the company, they had to show a 40-page document. All useless stuff that was not required to be put in there was there. And we had to spend hours reading the whole thing. Certain clauses were irrelevant, not leading with leases. I'm just telling you that this is how you use AI, which in fact creates more problem. You see, if you don't leave elbow room for human interaction and resolution, and you put in hundreds of clauses dealing with everything, tomorrow when a problem comes up with you, between you and the other side, you will strictly go by the document. And if something is not there in the document, it's not there. Something is there in the document, then you have to go strictly by it. You get tied down. A legal expert will tell you, make it short, make it sweet, make it clear, make it binding, make it workable. Make it workable. So again, this is the use of AI that you people make. But like I said, the human aspect of looking at it, analyzing it, preparing it is much more important, much more effective than use of this AI. It helps you. It will give you the outline. It will give you the outline, it will give you the skeleton, and then you should do the filling up of it. So use it again as a tool. The third one was the young lady's question. Third aspect of AI. And I'll tell you, although it's in the mind of everybody, I can see it. She said, Punjab and Haryana. I was the Chief Justice when the judgment on chat GPT was used by the judge in Punjab and Haryana High Court it was an order on an application for bail. And he used chat GPT. And this Jasmeet was the state of Punjab. Use chat. What do you think about it? He said, never use it. I said, but you given a judgment on chat. Well, no, I used chat GPT, but I did not follow it. See, you must read that order. The misinformation that is spread is that he used chat GPT to pass a judgment. Wrong. He used chat GPT to find out what GPT was saying about it. It was a case where he said if a crime has been committed and there is an element of cruelty in committing the crime, should I give bail or not? Whether I should give bail or whether I shouldn't give bail. Now, he said, chat GPT said, it depends on the gravity of the cruelty, but cruelty or no, you give bail. And the judge said, I didn't follow it. I rejected the bail because the offense was committed in a very heinous manner. So please note this, because you see, everywhere, all over the place, Punjab, Haryana, High Court use chat GPT to nothing. It's only a tool. It's only a information gathering instrument. You get information about something and then you use it, or whether to use it or not to use it is again human discretion. Why are these softwares not relevant? He's here. Chat GPT and other things, they are prepared with the social, demographic, cultural background of America, Australia, Canada. Nothing to do with India. They are giving you an input based on what's happening there. Totally irrelevant. I'll tell you, there's a judgment, 68 MPLJ, Madhya Pradesh High Court. 506B of the old IPC. गाली गलौच, गंदी गाली दिया. ट्रायल कोर्ट ने गंदी उसने मदर सिस्टर ये वो रिलेटेड अब्यूजेस किया, कन्विक्ट कर दिया. हाई कोर्ट एक्विटेड इट. व्हाई? They said these people are coming from a social background where the use of these abuses are part of their regular use of language. And for an educated, convent educated or this educated person, it may be a very, very offensive abuse. But for them, it's language, it's part of daily parlance. So, equity. Now you put this in chat GPT. What will you get? Social background from, and India is such a diverse country. In Punjab, this would never be an offense. But in some other part of the country, this would be a heinous offense. Now, if you apply the same yardstick or an American yardstick to this kind, judging this kind of an offense, what are you going to come up with? So you see, there's a saying, these are all attempts at imitating human beings. AI, generative AI. Next thing you will come up with something else. But creation is divine, imitation is human. We have been created by the divine with a lot of lot of energy, with a lot of brain, with a lot of so much of intelligence in us. We are trying to create something that will replace us. Not possible for us. And one of the most important reasons is that, like he said, you could store everything into the hardware, into the database for assessment. But can you store in the human feelings, the emotions, the analysis of the brain? You just can't do it. And that is what makes the difference between us and AI. That we must all, AI is not a one-stop solution for anything. Remember this. AI is just something that you have to use. Use it as one of the tools, not the only tool. One of the tools. Your people, your human beings who have so much power of cognizance, imagination, use so many things with faculty. Your faculty is infinite. You cannot be confined to AI. You cannot confine your faculties to AI. स्कूल में एक आप लोगों ने सबने पढ़ा होगा, आई डोंट नो याद है कि नहीं आपको, एक छोटी सी कहावत संस्कृत की, पुस्तकस्तु सा विद्या पर हस्तगतम धनम कार्य काले समुत्पन्ने न सा विद्या न तद धनम। इसका मतलब ये होता है कि पुस्तक में रखी हुई विद्या और दूसरे के पास रखा हुआ तुम्हारा धन, ये नहीं एग्जिस्ट करने के बराबर है, क्योंकि कार्य काले समुत्पन्ने, जिस समय खड़े खड़े कहीं आपको इसकी जरूरत पड़ेगी, न वो किताब में रखी हुई विद्या आपके पास है, न वो धन आपके पास है। आपको ये सब विद्या और धन जो है ये अपने अंदर रखना पड़ता है। आप लोग सब, यू आर ऑल यंग पीपल, आई एम क्वाइट श्योर यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड ऑफ एंड रेड अबाउट भूलाभाई देसाई, द ग्रेट lawyer of this country. When he was a junior, he was sitting and he was writing notes, preparing a case. And monkeying up the facts, writing it down in paper. And a senior advocate passed by, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm making notes, preparing the case." Why, don't you have a brain? He just walked away. That one sentence changed his life. And then our stories and legends about Bhulabhai Desai, where the file used to be hundreds and thousands of pages, and the case would be called up, and Bhulabhai Desai would stand up and he would just narrate the facts, no file, nothing, narrate the facts verbatim, page by page, para by para, judgments, everything here. That's what made him great, the great Palkiwala. There are stories about him where he just took out a slip, looked at it, and started arguing the case. No file, nothing. Quoting judgments. No AI is needed. No AI was needed. And the arguments that were raised then, you don't get to see today. The reason is that you are confining yourself to the search and the material that AI supplies to you. You're not going beyond it. Like Ms. Lekhi said, and they said, you enslaving yourself to AI. You become slaves of AI. Your mind is degenerating. There's no application of mind. The capacity to remember, the capacity to see. I don't know whether you've been told this as children, but your strongest memory is your visual memory and your audio memory, not the trained memory that you put into your brain. 10 years hence, somebody asks you about this lecture, you will remember the visual images. You will recollect the visual image, and that will trigger your memory, and you will say, yes, I had heard so-and-so, I had seen so-and-so and so-and-so. You're not using it. You're not using it. You rely on artificial AI for all these things. So don't let these things enslave you. There is a tendency of these AI application software of molding you subtly. Your thinking, your behavior, your actions, you don't come to know about it. It's a very subtle change that comes about. And you, because this AI takes you down a particular lane, you want to go here, it'll start here, and then slowly it'll deviate and you will go somewhere else. You won't even realize where you've gone. And that is where this ethical and unethical part of AI comes in. What is the, I'll give you an example. A week back, one of my friend's son, he fell sick and he got himself tested. A blood test was done and the report was that he was infected by some very serious kind of a infection. And the doctors panicked. They said immediately put him into the ICU and check his heart, because this infection could affect any organ. And if it does that, then it will be very difficult to recover. So 2 days in the ICU, lakhs of rupees spent, heart check, organs check, this check, that check, everything. 2 days, they gave him vigorous treatment. They said, let's test him again. They tested him again. They found he had no infection. They found that their infection was not there at all. What were they treating? It was ultimately discovered that the sample that they had taken was contaminated. So what is actually fed into AI, what is the database, is much more important than what you get out of it. If it's not in the database, if it's not in the search that you give, or the search that you give is wrong, or the search is manipulated, then the result goes haywire. There's no logic in it. They did not even realize that he was not having a single symptom of that illness. But because the test result said so, they were treating him blindly. Don't let this blindness ever envelop you. Make sure that you have this ability of empirical analysis of everything, analyzing things with AI as one of your aids, one of the instruments. There's a case of the New York Federal Court where this chat GPT has again played truant. A case was filed there and several judgments were quoted in it. The other side filed a reply saying that out of the judgments that there were 7 judgments we couldn't find. So then a search was made frantically. The judge said, you file an affidavit and give copies of this judgment. The person who had filed it gave copies of 6 judgments which were excerpts, not the complete. And they were not on the point at all. 7th judgment, non-existent. Not there at all. Ultimately, notices were issued to the lawyers who filed it. And he confessed that I had filed that case after getting a printout from Chat GPT. And it was Chat GPT that gave me those 7 judgments. I did not read them. I did not verify it. But now I think I'm wrong. I made a mistake. The judgment doesn't exist and the others are irrelevant. This is what happened in February 2024. So please realize that what you get is the same thing like I told you. If the sample is contaminated, the database was contaminated. The information given there was wrong. So the information that was generated, that was wrong. So you have to be very clear about these things, that AI is simply one of the tools that you have to use. It cannot replace your hard work. It can make your job a little easy. It can make your work a little easy. It can reduce a little bit of your burden. See, why do you want AI? Think about it. Why do you want to? The bitter and hard truth to swallow is that you are lazy. You don't want to work. You want something on the tips of your tongue. Press a button, get the answer. You're lazy. You want things without working for it. That's why taking advantage of your weakness, AI has taken over your entire thought process, your life. You want to buy a slipper? AI. You want to buy specs? AI. You want a book? AI. You would, there are voice bots today where a client has to open it and say, I am facing this kind of a problem. What's the legal advice for me? And the bot will talk back and tell you, this is under this section, you have this right, this here, this. No doubt, like he said, and rightly said so, it does help those who don't have the resources, who don't have the money, who don't have the ability to engage lawyers or take with at the initial stage, just to show you the direction, right direction. But ultimately, nothing can be done without the human application of mind and effort. That's very important. You must know this. Don't let, like I told you, become great. Pustakastu sahavidya, why should all the knowledge remain in the books? What is it there for? It's for you. A person has a huge library of all the information in the world in his house, and he has not read a single book. What's the use of that? That's your state today. You have everything available in the world, in the archives, in America, England, Canada, Australia, Ireland, everywhere. It's there with you on your net. But if you've not read it, what's the use of it? And if you've not read it and not just read it, but also retained the important part of it, what's the use of that kind of knowledge? So please, let's be very clear about this, that AI in either of the three fields that law is at present using it in is limited only to be used as a simple tool for diagnostic tool. Some people feel that it's the only tool. No, please, it's not. There's an instance where an argument was going on in court, and the judge said, one of this division bench and one of the judges said, Mr. So-and-so, there's a judgment on this point. This is so-and-so, so-and-so. I remember this is the judgment. This is the... And the lawyer said, yes, sir. The judgment is definitely there. But in so-and-so commentary, there's an adverse comment against that judgment. The sitting other judge said, this is amazing. You remember a judgment and you have read about it also. I don't know anything about it. Let's stop the hearing. Let's call for both the books and find out whether this is actually true or not. And both were right. The memory of the judge was fantastic. The memory of the law and knowledge of the judge was, of the lawyer was still better. What you get on the grid, what you get from the data is what is fed in. There are hundreds of judgments that are not even fed into the database. We as judges, we knew we are giving a judgment on a point, on an issue. It's a judgment, we give it, it's not reported. It's neither reported in the journals nor does anybody. In our days, of course, there was a... Welcome, Justice Bhatt. How are you? I think I have exceeded my thing and just concluding. And I've forgotten, looking at you, I've forgotten where I was. But I was telling you that in several instances, you give judgments, judges give judgments, a single bench judgments, division bench judgments, they're not reported. In our times, there was a system, at least in the Madhya Pradesh High Court, where every judgment that was delivered by every court was actually, a copy was sent to the Bar Association, where the lawyers could read it and analyze it. 90% judgments were not even reported. Now, if you've not read the judgment, you don't know about it. Same thing happens with these softwares. Not everything is uploaded. There could be judgments that are not uploaded, never come out in search. And therefore, you're handicapped if you're totally relying on the software. So therefore, please see that this is only used as a tool, one of the tools by the lawyers, and that AI is not, like I told you, the judge who in Punjab Haryana High Court who actually used ChatGPT told me when I asked him, I will never rely on it. And I have not relied on it. So now, you see this ethical other part with Niti Aayog is dealing with it. Madam Lekhi told you about it. He also talked about it. It's a very big issue about controlling AI, statutorily controlling AI. And one of the first laws in the world has been, in August 24, the European Union has formulated the European Union Artificial Intelligence Act. There they have categorized the kind of AI into 4 categories. One is totally prohibited, no AI in that. The other, very limited use of AI, and that too after tremendous scrutiny. The third category in which ChatGPT and others fall, that also has to be thoroughly scrutinized. No intellectual property protection there. You have to disclose each and everything over there for the purposes of obtaining it. And the fourth is these games, video games and others where there's no control. So this is a must for this country also. It's absolutely necessary that we come up with legislation controlling AI. So I think I've overshot my thing. There's many more things to say, but you have another session coming up. So thank you so much. And just remember, don't become slaves of AI. Your mind should be the boss. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Justice, sir, for your informative address. We are deeply grateful for your valuable time, sir. Now, it is our pleasure to invite our respected program co-director, Dr. Ashutosh Acharya, sir, to deliver the vote of thanks for the first session to our honorable guests.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and privilege to deliver vote of thanks to such esteemed dignitaries who had expressed their views and thoughts upon AI and law. I would first of all thank our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Shri Ravi Shankar Jha ji, former Chief Justice of Punjab and Haryana High Court. Sir, we thank you from the bottom of our heart, and I thank you on behalf of Law Center 2 and HP. Thank you so much, sir. I also thank our special guest of honor, Shri Minaki Lei ji, Senior Advocate, former Union Minister of State for External Affairs, Government of India. She had to leave because she had some other meeting and engagements, but she had been so kind to spare her valuable time and share her thoughts on AI and law. I thank our guest of honor, Shri Shailesh Tripathi ji, Director, Commercial Channel, India Market, HP, for being so congenial and sparing time out of your busy schedule and being with us here. Law faculty is really grateful to have you, sir. Thank you so much for being here, sir. I also thank our special guest, Shri Dr. Rajiv Bajpayee ji, faculty, IIT Lucknow, advisor, Government of India, who joined online. And I especially thank him for making technical aspects in layman's language. I thank him if he's still listening online, if he's still joined us with us. Thank you so much, sir. And this could not have been possible without the guidance and support of our leader, Professor in charge, Professor Dr. Shri Anupam Jha sir. Thank you so much, sir, for all the guidance that you gave us. I also thank our director, Dr. Ajay Sonawane, sir, for taking the initiative and making this event a successful one. We still are going on with the second session, so the event is still in continuation. I would not leave this dais without thanking our volunteers standing here and working so hard to make this possible. Thank you so much. And I also thank my colleagues who are sitting here, my fellow faculty members and students attending it very um, with all the focus and patience. So I thank you for your patient listening. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone. So we will continue with our technical session 2 immediately in 2 minutes after this group photo.
After the successful completion of technical session 1, I would like to begin with technical session 2. I would request our chief guest, Honorable Justice Ravindra Bhatt sir, to come at dais. A huge round of applause for Justice Ravindra Bhatt sir. I would request other guests to please approach the dais. A very good evening to our esteemed guests, eminent faculty members, and fellow students who have gathered here today. Welcome to this enlightening workshop organized by the Law Center 2 Faculty of Law, University of Delhi in association with HP Microworld. This national workshop and capacity development program on artificial intelligence techno-legal perspective is being organized with the objective to bring together legal professionals, technologists, policymakers, and academicians to explore the transformative role of AI in India's judiciary. We have successfully completed session 1 of our workshop, and it's time to move forward with our second session. I am Anshika.
And I am Simran.
Will host you today for session 2.
I hope you have all enjoyed the insightful discussion during technical session 1 of this workshop. The contributions of our distinguished speakers in session 1 have laid a strong foundation for the discussions ahead. Now let's extend warm welcome to our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt sir, former judge of the Supreme Court of India. A warm round of applause for him.
Our guest of honor, Shri Ashok Kumar sir, former IPS and DGP, Honorable Vice Chancellor at Sports University of Haryana.
Our next guest of honor, Dr. Raghavendra sir, former Joint Secretary, Senior Consultant, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Government of India.
Our special guest, Dr. Ashish Srivastav sir, Senior Lecturer at Monash Business School, Australia, who is an expert in artificial intelligence. He will join virtually after some time.
Our special guest, Shri Padmesh Mishra sir, who is an advocate of the Supreme Court of India. Please give a warm round of applause for him. We are very grateful for your time and commitment to being here today. We are fortunate to have with us today such distinguished speakers who are noted figures in their respective fields. Each one of them brings invaluable expertise or insights that will indeed make the exposure of this topic fruitful and enriching experience.
Now, I would like to invite our Professor in Charge, Professor Dr. Anupam Jha, sir, to felicitate our Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt, sir, former Judge of Honorable Supreme Court of India. His remarkable contributions to the judiciary have significantly shaped our legal landscape.
Now I would request Professor Dr. Anupam Jha sir to facilitate our guest of honor, Shri Ashok Kumar sir, former IPS and DGP and Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Sports University of Haryana. His, ins- his insights into law enforcement and academia are invaluable. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Now, I would request Professor Dr. Anupam Jha, sir, to felicitate Dr. Raghavendra G.R. sir, former Joint Secretary and Senior Consultant, Government of India. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would request Professor Dr. Anupam Jha, sir, to facilitate Shri Padmesh Mishra, sir, Advocate of Supreme Court of India.
Now we look forward to hearing the welcome address of our esteemed Professor in Charge, Dr. Anupam Jha sir, which will set the tone for today's important discussions and engage us all in the theme of the workshop. His invaluable guidance and insights have always been a source of inspiration for us. And it's my pleasure to invite sir to come to the stage to present the welcome address.
Thank you. And I am very happy today that we have with us on the dais Honorable Justice Ravindra Bhatt ji, former Judge Supreme Court of India. We have also with us Sri Ashok Kumar ji, former IPS and DGP, and currently Honorable Vice Chancellor at the Sports University of Haryana. We have also with us Dr. Raghavendra G.R., former Joint Secretary and Senior Consultant, IPR, DP, Triple IT, Government of India. And we have also with us Sri Padmesh Mishra ji. And this is my privilege to welcome all the dignitaries on the dais to share their views on artificial intelligence, techno-legal perspective in the premises of Law Center 2. And as the topic is very contemporary, this evening has become truly a delightful and enlightening evening. First of all, I would like to express my sincere thanks to our chief guest of this ceremony, Mr. Justice Ravindra Bhatt ji, who deserves a big round of applause because he is from our own university. Long back in 80s, early 80s, he passed out from Delhi University, and now he has come today. His practice was roaring in the field of different fields of law, consumer, constitutional, educational, employment, and he had appeared in many cases before different courts of our country. And then he was elevated as a judge of the Supreme Court of India in September 2019 And only last year, he retired from the Supreme Court. Justice Bhatt has authored more than 100 judgments, and he has participated in more than 400 benches. You might also be happy to know that he was the head of the Supreme Court Committee on Juvenile Justice and Child Welfare. Currently, Justice Bhatt is Distinguished Professor at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar National Law University in Sonipat. He has been appointed to this role after retiring from the Supreme Court of India. And I welcome you, sir, today, this evening to Law Center. Thank you, sir. Our guest of honor, Sri Ashok Kumar Ji, has been kind enough today to come to grace this occasion. He completed his intermediate from Hindu College Sonipat, and then he did his engineering, B.Tech and M.Tech from IIT Delhi. He has been a senator member of IIT Delhi for 3 years, and then he became the president of IIT Delhi Alumni Association. And thereafter, he has been the president of Uttarakhand State Badminton Association from 2005 to 2017. And now he's the Vice Chancellor of Sports University of Haryana, and he will be there for another 3 years. Thank you so much, Sri Ashok Kumarji, for coming today and gracing this seminar workshop on artificial intelligence. Give him a big round of applause, please. Dr. Raghavinder GRG, he is the former Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Law and Justice, and he has held very important posts in the Ministry of Law and Justice, Department of Justice, and Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And he has been now a consultant in the Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion. He has a lot of experience in lecturing on different intellectual property rights aspects. He has participated in many national and international workshops in different universities and at different fora. He has been also awarded recently the PhD in IPR for data mining and artificial intelligence. I welcome G.R. Raghavendra Ji to Law Center 2 this evening. Our guest of honor today is also Mr. Padmesh Mishra Ji. He is from the state of Chhattisgarh, and he has been also an alumnus of Delhi University. He graduated from Hindu College Philosophy Honors, and then he completed his LLB from Campus Law Center, Faculty of Delhi. Mr. Mishra practices in the Supreme Court and in the Delhi High Court, and he represents the Government of India as its standing counsel in the High Court of Delhi, as also in his capacity as panel counsel in the Supreme Court of India. He appears for the office of LG of Delhi as its special counsel and the ED as its retainer counsel. In addition to the above, Mr. Mishra represents the state of Rajasthan as its additional advocate general in the Supreme Court of India. I welcome Padmesh Ji today to this law center. Students and participants, I'm so happy to see all of you waiting to listen from the dignitaries today on different aspects of artificial intelligence. As you all know that these two words are very close to the two words of our center. Law Center 2, two words, and artificial intelligence. How close is the connection? But the students of Law Center 2, they are not artificial. They are the real one because they are here listening to artificial intelligence. What would be the law? What is the technology? How technology and law will interconnect with each other. The students of Law Center 2, the students of Faculty of Law will not be artificial. They will always remain real like you. Reality comes from being real. And when you are real, you will hear all the different nuances of artificial intelligence, which is now the buzzing word. आज हम जहां जाएं कहते हैं कुछ आर्टिफिशियल कुछ बात हो रही है, कुछ इंटेलिजेंस वाली बात हो रही है, बट हमारी इंटेलिजेंस कहां है? वेयर इज आवर इंटेलिजेंस? आर वी लूजिंग आवर इंटेलिजेंस? क्या हम आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस के ही भरोसे रहेंगे? क्या हम चैट जीपीटी के भरोसे रहेंगे? यू सी, चैट जीपीटी, हमारे लॉ फैकल्टी में चैट जीपीटी से एग्जाम हम नहीं करते. जिस दिन चैट जीपीटी, बिकॉज यू नो मेनी यूनिवर्सिटीज, बहुत सारे कंट्रीज, दे आर वेरी मच एडवांस्ड. वहां पे उन्होंने ऑनलाइन एग्जाम शुरू किया एंड यू नो व्हाट, बच्चों को एग्जाम देने की जरूरत नहीं थी, चैट जीपीटी ने एग्जाम दे दिया और बच्चे पास भी कर गए. बिकॉज द बच्चे ऑफ दोज यूनिवर्सिटी, दे आर आर्टिफिशियल. हु आर रियल? You are real. You write your examination with pen and paper. आप पेन और पेपर से एग्जाम लिखते हो. आपके टीचर आर्टिफिशियल नहीं है. आपके टीचर जो यहां बैठे हैं वो सारे रियल हैं. ये देखिए बिटिया को लेके बैठी हुई है. आपके सारे टीचर यहां बैठे हुए हैं. देखिए सवेरे से आपका कि हम बच्चों को रियल चीज बताएं. और वी आर वेरी हैप्पी कि आज हमारे साथ फॉर्मर जस्टिस ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट आपके सामने हैं और वो भी रियल में है. देयर इज नो आर्टिफिशियल. यू सी, डेटा माइनिंग, एल्गोरिथम, हु विल टेल यू बेटर देन एन इंजीनियर? ये देखिए इंजीनियर साहब यहां बैठे हुए हैं. आईआईटी दिल्ली के इंजीनियर साहब यहां बैठे हुए हैं. Who will tell you better than Ashok Kumar ji on artificial intelligence? अब बताइए, you know law, technology, और law वाले एक और उधर बैठे हुए हैं, वो पद्मेश मिश्रा जी बैठे हुए हैं. देखिए वो सारे आपको, you know, this kind of galaxy of the resource persons who are here today. आज तो मुझे लगता है कि this evening is going to be great. और उसके बाद जो आपको कुछ खाना मिलने वाला है बाहर, वो तो फिर उससे भी अच्छा होगा. वो भी रियल होगा, वो भी आर्टिफिशियल नहीं है. Thank you so much, lordships and judges, dignitaries, for coming today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for such deep insights about our guests. It's a pleasure to be a part of a workshop in the presence of such distinguished speakers. Their presence adds immense value to our workshop, and we are eager to hear their insights. Without further delay, let's begin our journey into the intriguing world of AI and law. It is my distinct honor to invite our special guest, Shri Padmesh Mishra Sir, Advocate of Supreme Court of India, to share his wisdom and perspectives with us. His rich experience and profound understanding of the subject matter will provide us with valuable insights that are sure to leave a lasting impact. Huge round of applause for Sir.
Honorable Mr. Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt, former Judge, Supreme Court of India, Shri Ashok Kumar, former IPS and DGP, and Vice Chancellor of the Sports University of Haryana, Dr. Raghavendra GR, former Joint Secretary, Government of India, and Dr. Anupam Jha, Professor in Charge, Law Center 2. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, participants and students, it is an absolute privilege to be here amongst you all. And I should say we are also participating in an ever-growing field of law. Artificial intelligence is something that is developing, and we must all participate in making it more robust, more inclusive. And what better platform than the University of Delhi, which in my opinion is a microcosm. It represents the entirety of India, different sections of the society, all coming together. And therefore, a large part of my address today is going to be centered around equal justice for all. I think, and I had a chance to watch on the YouTube channel the first technical session, snippets of it, where a lot of challenges that artificial intelligence poses have been dealt with. But I think when it comes to equal access for justice to all, one field where we can deeply benefit is the field of legal aid. It's a field where artificial intelligence can be utilized as a tool to ensure that information dissemination is proper, to ensure that each and every member of the society, each of those accused persons, convicts who are in jail, who do not know their rights, are able to access justice. And more importantly, the authorities are able to access data, which is the bedrock of being able to provide equal access to justice for all. The Honorable Supreme Court and the Honorable High Courts have been monitoring various policies like remission policies, judicial reforms, jail reforms. And you would know that a large number of our jails are flooded with people staying in. The conditions in the jails are very poor. They have the option of filing jail petitions. And my Lord Justice Bhatt would acknowledge that most jail petitions that come to the Supreme Court are often delayed. Our National District and State Legal Services Authority are battling with the challenge of being able to tell the people of their rights, inform them, and for them to be able to exercise their rights and file petitions before the court. The bedrock of this is the lack of availability of data and information. We have the judicial clocks telling us the number of matters that are being disposed, the number of matters that are being filed. But there is a strong need for us to be able to identify how many people are in need of access to justice. There are various aspects: data collection, data entry. All of these today are manned by humans. The legal services authorities of our country not only are facing a human resource crunch, not only a financial crunch, but are also facing the problem of diversity and the large population that our country has, where they are unable to collect these data, put it on the appropriate forum for these authorities to pick up and utilize this data for filing appropriate cases in the court. Machine learning, in my view, and machine learning and artificial intelligence is one way where we can identify data through automated procedures. It creates two benefits. One, it is efficient. Second, it can adopt and cater to needs and peculiarities of a particular district, particular social backgrounds, and it has an all-pervasive impact where, notwithstanding, for instance, it is not just the jail in Delhi, the Tihar, or the Mandoli jail, or the Yerbada jails in Pune and Mumbai that need these data to be available on the internet. It is that jail far down the state of Jharkhand, in the northeast, which should be able to disseminate data as quickly as what the metro cities are able to do so. Machine learning is what is going to be of great assistance in identifying what we called a need-based assistance, in identifying who needs it the most. The ability, the process from collection to its entry can get automated. And therefore, a lot of speakers in the first session have told us that artificial intelligence is not to replace human intelligence. It is a tool for assistance. It is this assistance that makes us more efficient, more fast and effective that we have to cater to. The other problem, and this is something from my practical experience that I wanted to incorporate, was there is a process called natural language processing in artificial intelligence. And for instance, in the Supreme Court, where all documentation has to be filed in the English language, and most depositions are recorded in the country in various trial courts in their vernacular languages. More often than not, when the translated versions are placed before the court, the tenor in which the statement was made is often lost, because the translators in English would translate the meanings from Hindi or Kannada or Tamil or Telugu language into identified terms in the English language. The natural language processing ability of artificial intelligence can adopt dialects. More often than not, when questions are posed to witnesses, they often respond in their dialects, which are different for each city, for each, and we know every 20 kilometers in our country, a dialect changes. The ability to process this and to be able to place on record before, especially in the appellate courts, because in the trial courts, we have the benefit of the judge being able to understand the tenor of the witness. But when we are in appeal, where the witnesses are not before the judges, where the only depositions recorded or put down to writing are before the judges, it is going to be of great assistance in identifying the true nature of depositions made in their respective language. There is also, and I think a lot has to be achieved in this field, is the concept of an automated legal assistance. We would know that the literacy rate or the information dissemination in this particular field would be very low. Our national legal services authorities, state legal services authorities, district legal services authorities organize various seminars, conferences to be able to inform people of their rights that can be exercised at various junctures. In my view, more often than not, these conferences are unable to reach the one who needs it the most, because we organize it in these seminar rooms where people from the villages are often not participating. It is therefore an important, that's where the human element has to add up to the artificial intelligence. It's people like us, it's people belonging to the fraternity of lawyers, judges, paralegal volunteers, who should be able to translate what we are having this workshop for, and convince and inform the people by the use of automated legal assistance, so that every member of the society, whether be it on a smartphone or by way of some websites or kiosks in jail, can apply for and participate in the process and know his rights. For instance, preliminary legal advice in something we see in several fields. I was reading an article where in the field of medical sciences, if we, for instance, we are having a pain on the left side of our chest, more often than not, we Google something. We'd go to a page on WebMD, identify what kind of problems, what kind of symptoms are there, and we do a preliminary assessment. The field of law, like the medical sciences, is often a very technical field, where people in the simplest of language are unable to understand their rights and remedies. Virtual legal assistants, or bots as we call them, can do the preliminary process of letting people know of their rights, of their remedies. Persons long incarcerated in jail who do not have access to smartphones could use it on a simple kiosk that could be installed in jails. And by the use of these process, the preliminary legal advice and answer to common legal questions can be achieved, which would greatly assist even us as lawyers. When people come to us with their matters, the first thing we do is try to identify their documentation. Now, we are moving from the world of digitization to the world of artificial intelligence, a new era. In this new era, the change has to come from from more information being available with the litigant. The litigant being able to tell us at the first instance that these are things that I have identified. It greatly reduces the burden on the courts. It greatly reduces the burden on the litigants, the lawyers, the judges, and overall an effective judicial system can be achieved by the deployment of these small tools, small artificial intelligence driven mechanisms at various places. I'm not sure if Delhi University currently offers access to subscriptions like legal research subscriptions, where a lot of private colleges are able to do so. Legal research is something, this is where I come to Access for Justice to All. When we were studying in college, we had that old case material. And I think there is still that case material. And more often than not, students would read out of their 2-page, the small dukki. And but I would encourage everybody, to please follow the case material, because the foundational principles of law that have been culled out, and the professors have done an excellent job in identifying the relevant portions from the various judgments, which are statements of law. Every day it would come to your ease, as and when the participants, the students, would join the profession. Legal research, and the reason why I wanted to speak about this is legal research begins with the ability to frame propositions. Our legal research engines, as we call it, often rely on keywords to identify the search. AI-driven legal research can help us translate the layman's language to those legal propositions, which can in turn be identified or researched through these search engines. These AI bots can help you frame these propositions. They cannot replace, but they can necessarily be of assistance. And now I'm sure some of the leading research engines in the country are trying to adopt an AI-based model, in trying to adopt different inputs that are going to help in the legal research. The fifth, and I think particularly those in the trial, when we analyze trial, is the concept of a predictive analysis, where several case laws, the fact situation obtaining in a particular case can be, and because artificial intelligence learns from the data inputs that are available with the algorithm, it analyzes different sets of data. Particularly when trial strategies are being made, in trial strategies, you often have to choose one path as your line of defense, let us say in the field of criminal law. To be able to identify, and there are myriad of options available, to be able to identify old cases, to be able to identify your trial strategy that can be tailor-made to your particular case, again, as a tool of assistance, not replacement, is something that can be of great assistance to lawyers and the students alike. There is one example of a legal aid society in Middle Tennessee and Cumberlands, where they have identified an AI solution to automate what is called an expungement process. They identify criminal records, they identify the charges, and these charges are then automated through a system where simple drafts are produced by these AI-driven engines to ease the process of filing petitions, of the amount of time that is spent in preparing these documents. Before I move forward, and I don't want to detain all of you for a very long time, you've had a long day. We are often confronted with a question that what is the extent of liability? Because in doing all of this, in achieving all of this, one important aspect in artificial intelligence is who can be held liable in case of a harm or an injury or a negligence. And more often than not, the question is whether an algorithm can be put to trial, or chatbot can be put to trial, or a virtual assistant can be put to trial. In my view, there is a need to, these challenges can easily be dealt with by policy and legislative reforms. And the various fields from which our guests are here today especially the involvement of technocrats, industry-specific individuals, because there cannot be a tailor-made, there cannot be a hands-on one approach for all industries alike. These negligence have to cater to the specific usage in a particular industry, in a particular field of work. Our current product liability laws are not enough to deal with situations of harm or negligence arising out of a virtual chatbot. In fact, the regulation, as Justice Jha was pointing out at the fag end of his address in European Union, the particular legislation has come into place to identify or to fix liability. But to fix liability, we have to go more industry specific. We have to engage with all stakeholders to identify the peculiar problems of a particular industry. And in doing so, we must also ensure data protection, privacy rights of the individuals are not violated. And it is critical that correct data being available for algorithms to be able to perform these acts has to be made sure. So data regulation in any form is going to be the biggest challenge. And the biggest challenge comes from being able to balance between rights of the individual, privacy rights, and also ensuring correct data being available on the internet. I would conclude by saying that, in fact, I would be failing in my duty if I did not congratulate Law Center 2 for holding this conference on artificial intelligence, because as the future of our country, these workshops are going to shape the future of our legal system as well. And therefore, seminars like this, empowering the students who in turn can take it forward to each and every man, every citizen of this country, is something that, and when we look back 10 years later, we'll be congratulating Dr. Jha and faculty members of the Law Center, the faculty of Delhi, for having organized this conference. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for highlighting the benefits of using machine learning in law, benefits of artificial intelligence in legal research and documentation. You have precisely explained how artificial intelligence is not a tool to replace you. It is there for your assistance. Thank you so much, sir. Your insights undoubtedly enriched our discussion today. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Raghavendra Jia, sir, former Joint Secretary and Senior Consultant at Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Government of India, who possess distinguished career in public service. Dr. Raghavendra sir has played a pivotal role in shaping India's intellectual property framework. Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Vande Mataram and Justice Ravindra Bhatt sir and Ashok Kumar ji, Padmesh ji, and Dr. Anupam ji, and many faculty of this law school and dear students. It's always be happy to come back to my law school. I'm a student of LC1. I was just remembering how evening I used to catch my metro and complete my 75% attendance, religiously attending, unless my boss, Amit Kare, now advisor to Modi sir, calls me back. You know, Kapil Sibal Mantri ji, a copyright amendment 2012 के issue है, discuss करने को बुलाया, तो I leave everything and catch metro again and go back. Those times, no Ola, Uber. My batch was 2008 to 11. Then I fell in love during that time with the IP, and I wanted a specialization. I went to some other school to do my, satiate my hunger and also thirst. Everyone is talking about that AI is only a general purpose assisting tool. One should not, get addicted to it, but use it just like you're using your, smartphone or a laptop or computer or iPad and all that. So whether it is a ChatGPT or any AI model, large language model, LLM model. We have examples of ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, and all that. So if you rely more on that, because what this technology is there, what I am telling you, that whenever law and technology is there, as students, law students, you try to understand the technology, then only you'll be doing justice to your clients, helping out to get justice. No, tomorrow, if you're a criminal lawyer, if you don't understand the forensic science, the basics, how you're going to argue and save your client. So similarly, when intellectual property rights, law and technology comes, the guy who's doing in the patent side, he should understand what is a biotechnology patent, a software patent, similarly AI patent. And so unless and until you go in deep, at least learn basics. So what you are filing, what specifications are written by the innovator, inventor, you don't understand. So basics are important. Of course, ChatGPT helps you to give some information, but don't rely on that. The young lawyers like you, two lawyers, they had a very short time in filing reply as affidavit in New York court. They took the assistance of ChatGPT, prepared a beautiful affidavit, and it gave 6 citations supporting their argument and their narration in that affidavit. And they were happy and filed that matter in the court. But judge is very intelligent, also learned. He went through that and said that these are all fake cases. Nowhere, no court has given such judgments. These guys were shocked. And court said, in the next hearing, I'm going to impose some sanction on you. Then he came back with, he's very saintly guy like our Justice Ravindra Bhatt, did not impose any heavy penalty on them. He said only the $5,000 punishment to you, because you have to be very careful using ChatGPT, because it also undergoes AI hallucinations. Hallucination. So you start imagining that here Anil Kapoor is sitting and talking about AI and personality, right? Jackie Shroff is sitting that his avatar has been created, and the avatar starts saying, hey, Bidu, and all that. He filed a case in Delhi High Court and won that. So the AI is doing these things a lot. Taylor Swift, she may be your favorite. Using the metaverse, she created her avatar, and her avatar can give live performances if she's a busy person. And she can sign a contract with the producer. Wherever live concerts happen, she won't be coming. Avatar, Taylor Swift can do that. But Taylor Swift, physically, she gave using the metaverse, the virtual reality, augmented reality, or mixed reality, or the extended realities, the various spaces are there. Sitting in a drawing room, she gave a concert to millions of people all over the world. The beauty of the technology is, now if she is giving in the auditorium here, everyone can ask her to please sing my favorite song. The beauty of this artificial intelligence assisted metaverse, you can ask, hey, Taylor, sing my song. This is my favorite. At least she will sing one mukda or one antara to satisfy her fans. So this kind of technology is coming. So these are all innovations. The moment innovations, they should be patentable. So many countries are coming out with their regulations of AI. AI about discrimination, equality, and privacy, and responsibility. That is very important. Even Niti Aayog in 2014 came out with a national strategy for artificial intelligence. The various ministries dealing with the various sectors should not work in silos, but should work collaboratively and coordinative manner. And then last year only, they came out with responsible AI for all, the first document. Why responsibility? The person using the AI, remember when in the e-courts phase 3 project, when I As a joint secretary, we selected in coordination with, of course, Justice Chandrachud sir is chairman of the committee of the Supreme Court. Vidhi and Daksh, they did a study for the e-courts, how what should be the strategy of using these technologies for the courts, beginning from the Supreme Court to the 25 high courts and district courts. So there, the question of responsibility comes. Because AI does a lot of mistakes, not only the hallucination, imagining and trying to, with my own experience, I ask questions about Indian patent law and Indian trademark law. I start giving case laws and examples from the American and EU. So because you are a studious student, you read them, understand. Otherwise, you get into the same trouble. Those two young lawyers finally have to pay $5,000 each as a fine. So you have to be very careful. So technology is coming. So you should understand what technology is, that if you are a patent lawyer, whether it is a patentable subject matter or not. So you know that section 3K, which says that computer programs per se, algorithms, and business methods are not invention, not patentable. But following the concept which the Supreme Court of America introduced in Allies versus CLS Bank, even an examiner in the IP office follows the technical effect, the technical solution given by this technology in solving this problem, and also how the prior art, if you search in the prior art, what kind of inventive step it has introduced. You know, this you see this explanation in the computer-related inventions guidelines of the IP office in 2013, which has been replaced in 2017. And in the recently, the Faridi Alani versus Union of India case, Justice Pratibha Singh gave a judgment saying that the 2013 guidelines were more stakeholder friendly. 2017 confusing because the definition of the technical affected technical solution has been removed in the 2017. It is a case application, international application for the patent filed from the Tunisia. That's what being discussed. So how India has become then if it is not patentable, these problems are there. Top 10 AA granting countries in the world. Yesterday only there was a news I shared in Twitter and also my WhatsApp IP Darshan channel that India, 6G is coming now. In a 6G, India has already acquired 6th status in the IP office granting patents. The number of patent grant, the entire world in the 6G technology. India is the 6th position and slowly marching towards the 5th and 4th. So these technical developments are happening, and if we follow the methodology which universally followed, granting the patents. But question comes whether AI itself, which autonomously inventing, can be recognized as an inventor. That argument has been defeated all over the world. And Thaler versus Vidal case, the Stephen Thaler, who invented Dabus AI machine, which in turn autonomously created food processing devices for which a patent has been filed. Kathy Vidal, a good friend of mine, she is the USPTO head. Recently, she came with a delegation. She was asking me how India is dealing with these matters. We said the way US is dealing, we are dealing. You have rejected, and the Stephen Thaler went to the Supreme Court and failed to get a favorable order because for creation, human ingenuity is needed for innovation or inventorship. The way Australian High Court, five judge bench, Australian High Court has given a decision against Stephen Thaler's request, granting a patent for the doubles, because artificial intelligence machine cannot be an inventor unless and until a person working behind it. If you see the entire patent ecosystem or IP ecosystem, it is the personality based. There is a personality theory. the person has to be a natural person to be recognized as an inventor, or a design maker, or a copyright author. There is a personality-based system in the intellectual property laws. And also, apart from the personality theory, there is an incentive theory. Why do you give it 20-year-long exclusive rights for the when patent granted? Why do you give what is this life of the author plus 60 years? Berne Convention says of 50 years and 60 years. So there is no life for the machine. So you can't start introducing. But the people like me who belong to conservative romantic school, we don't accept giving any rights to a non-human machines. But there are revolutionaries, they say that no, autonomously it is creating, please give rights to a machine. But third school says that no, it should be recognized as a legalistic or a juristic aspects, and it should be given law. There is a case, Jeevan Publishing House versus Rupendra Kashyap. I think it's a Delhi High Court case, if I am correct, if not Supreme Court. In this clearly mentioned that CBSE itself does not draft the questions. It is they engage a teacher or a professor who drop the question. And in section 17, subsection of the Copyright Act says that the first owner of the copyright is the person whose expression, the author is also first owner. But 17 B and C, when the contract basis or a commission basis is doing that, the ownership will go to the legalistic or a juristic person. So this is the law in India, and universally no one is granting that. Coming to the authorship also, there are many problems created by the artificial intelligence in the data mining. Again, I told you that try to understand the technologies, whether it is the LLM model, natural language processing, which Padmesh was mentioning, the generative AI, which employs whether the machine learning, whether it is a supervised or unsupervised machine learning model when the data is a systematic, and then is a supervising learning happens when the data is unsystematic, not labeled. Or just now was this with Justice Bhatt, when the photo is taken, the document it is uploaded, how LLM model can read that? Only the neural network like computer vision can read that and extract the data. So data collection and the tokenization and categorization, various steps happen within the fraction of seconds. And the finally output comes out. Again, output, there is a big issue in the matter has not gone to our courts, but in US Supreme Court and the UK and EU, they have rejected recognizing AI models as an author. Recently, Jason Allen, who created using the Midjourney generative AI, beautiful photo. He says that my photo got an award in US competition that is being infringed because US Copyright Office refused to register it because it is not a human creativity. So recently we are given a reply to the parliament, how you are going to deal with this inventorship and authorship. So we said that present law, the general principles mentioned in the patent law and copyright law recognizes the AI creativity only for the natural persons, because copyright law section 2C6 clearly says the person behind the computer for the computer generated works, the AI generated works, it has to be the author who is the natural person. And the latest technology for which the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded last week only, Geoffrey Hinton. Geoffrey Hinton got Nobel Prize in Physics last week. What is his invention? Invention is again AI and neural networks. He was trying to comment like Oppenheimer when he invented atom bomb. When atom bomb exploded, when he was reciting the Bhagavad Gita, and similar way, he's saying that the AI is going to, because when a strong AI is coming, it may create problems because it may start thinking autonomously like human. we have to be very careful. That's what he said. And that is a very important statement he has made while receiving the award. So we have to be very careful in that. But IP, I believe, keeps evolving, because my last statement before I rest my mouth, in fact, my speech, our friend Elon Musk made a statement couple of months ago on his X account that digital God has taken birth and copyright law will die. I said, no. What is he mentioning? Digital God? That is artificial general intelligence, the strong AI. That's what the Jeffrey Hinton has invented and got the Nobel Prize in physics, the artificial neural networks. So this is going to come, they kill the copyright law. I replied in briefly in 140 characters saying that the printing machine came, copyright law took birth, and the phonograms and music, then technology came, from Bern Convention to Rome Convention came, and WIPO internet treaties came to address the digital piracy. And now AI will also be handled by the copyright law, and that's what the law schools like Delhi Law School teach and groom the students to make the laws stronger, and they take the copyright law to the next generation. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, sir, for offering your insights on this topic. Your expertise has truly added a valuable dimension to today's discussion. Now, our next guest of honor, Shri Ashok Kumar sir, whose remarkable journey from IIT Delhi to leadership in various fields truly exemplifies dedication and excellence. Sir has also authored a book related to cyber encounter by Penguin Publisher, which was presented by respected Amitabh Bachchan sir. Now I would like to invite sir.
Honorable Justice Ravinder Bhatt sir, Raghvendra ji, Mishra ji, Professor Anupam Jha, other faculty members and dear students. I know it's getting late and many speakers have spoken, so I will not repeat anything. I'll just talk about 2-3 things which are probably relevant. AI can have great role in making society better. We all know it. Be it health, be it education, be it agriculture, be it even your own law. I would like to know how many of you are using AI? Chat GPT? Means that's what, how many other applications you know about AI other than Chat GPT? 1 or 2. So basically all are using Chat GPT. So what has Chat GPT done to us? All our knowledge was, in Google, isn't it? Google Baba हम बोलते हैं, ज्ञान का भंडार, ठीक है? So what has Chat GPT done? Earlier days we used to, surf the Google. ये करो वो करो, YouTube खोजो, यहाँ खोजो वहाँ खोजो, and last में अपना कुछ material बनाते थे. So that much research or homework we had to do. Now all that is also gone to Chat GPT. वो भी मुझको नहीं करना है. So the tools, that is what AI is. You can make out what AI can do. Similarly, in future, maybe I'm just saying, your contract drafting to predictive judgments to judgment writing, maybe draft judgment writing, not the judgment writing, may all go to AI. Anyway, this is first thing. Second thing was, I feel, being in police for 35 years, that IT laws are too weak. Unimaginably weak. I don't know why still it is continuing. Punishment is maximum 3 years. You all know it's not arrestable. So that's why these people operate with impunity. The volume of cybercrime in India is, about 20 lakhs complaints a year. 20 lakhs, imagine. It is beyond my capacity or even your capacity or legal capacity to handle such volume of crime. And the impunity with which they operate, just two examples. They made fake ID of DGP Uttarakhand while I was sitting as DGP Uttarakhand, and including officiating Chief Justice of Uttarakhand. So this much impunity there. डर ही नहीं लगता उनको, पकड़ लोगे तो क्या कर लोगे? अरे वो तो जो नए नए हमारे जजेज आते बोलते वी कैन नॉट, रिमांड नहीं देते हैं. सो जस्ट इमेजिन, वी आर कैपेसिटी की बातें हो रही ना, आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट कैपेसिटी. सो दिस इज अवर कैपेसिटी, लीगल कैपेसिटी, जुडिशियल कैपेसिटी, पुलिस कैपेसिटी, सब जगह गैप्स ही गैप्स भरे पड़े. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट नॉर्मल क्राइम. सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू एआई, तब और क्या होगा? मतलब फिर तो हमारी कैपेसिटी और डाउन चली जाएगी. सो वी हैव टू build capacities. Now, fake IDs, deep fake is coming. It is very difficult to differentiate what is real and what is false. All elections are being affected by deep fake. A real video can be laughed at, saying it is a deep fake, and the vice versa. So things have changed like anything. Digital arrest. So all these things are going to create big challenges for the whole legal and judicial machinery, including police, including judiciary, including advocates, government advocates, forensics, everyone. So these are the areas we need to create capacity. We need to build capacities. And legal capacity building also includes your own institution, the universities. Because for us, अभी तो technical science लगती है ना, AI. But we have to know about it. We have to build capacities. How to handle with it. उसके जो cases आएंगे तो उन पे कैसे चर्चा होगी, कैसे बात होगी, कैसे हम prove करेंगे that yes, this man has committed crime. And it is real. It is not artificial. The evidence that is there. So I feel that these are the areas of concern where we need to focus for building capacities, and also we need to strengthen our laws and make them harsher. This is my take on it. And so that, liability, accountability, everything can be fixed. I think it's getting too late, and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your remarkable words. Your insights provide crucial perspectives as we navigate these evolving technologies. Now, it is my honor to invite our chief guest for this session, Honorable Mr. Justice S. Ravindra Bhatt, sir, renowned for his integrity and intellectual rigor. He has made a significant impact on Indian jurisprudence. I request Honorable Mr. Justice Ravindra Bhatt, sir, to come on stage and share some valuable insights. A great round of applause for Justice Ravindra Bhatt, sir.
Good evening. I see a thinner crowd, and I also see a lot of bored and tired faces. So let me begin with some humor. All of you have heard of a lot of artificial intelligence, but you're very naturally tired. The point is, we are very human. We had very insightful speeches Padmesh made, and a very fervent and passionate plea for inclusion, for involvement of legal aid, going to the weakest sections of society, and what needs to be done, what can be achieved by AI, what are the limits that humans can reach. Mr. Raghavendra Rao spoke a lot of intellectual property, and for someone versed with intellectual property, I was also quite bedazzled, shall I say, and overwhelmed. But then there's one thing, sir. It was an overload. The overload, why do I say it's an overload? When we talk of a particular topic, it is important for us to see our audience. I see an audience of law students primarily. I also see that many of them are acquainted with patent and IPR, but at the level at which you speak, it's perhaps a doctoral level. And with no disrespect meant, I think there was a lot of sense in what you meant, which is very solid. But at the same time, the point I'm trying to make is we should be less geeky. I hope we all understand what is geeky. Then let us be, I mean, when I was coming, I had two wonderful students who brought me here. I made a point to them and I thought I must convey it to you. When you're talking of AI or intellectual property or technology, tech as they call it, and that is one kind of silo. When you talk of law, that's another tech silo. How do you speak to each other? The speaking of both to each other is what makes it comprehensible to the human being and the common man. And ultimately, the beneficiary of all this artificial intelligence, is humankind. The question which both Mr. Raghavendra and the other speakers and Padmesh, all of them focused on was how much of enhancement to human values, how much of enhancement to human endeavor is it going to make? And there can be no doubt that it is going to make it is making and it is going to make a huge impact. At the same time, we have to understand some obvious factors. And I think the best person to have spoken about this was Mr. Raghavendra, which is that AI feeds on data. The more data you have, the more are the possibilities of exploiting that data, which is the knowledge base on which AI is created. And Padmesh made the plea that, you must have data and there must have been data feeding points. But one more gloss I want to add. There has to be a standardization of data, that there should be a structuring of that data without which AI will not function. Every session has had some speaker enlightening you about the nature of controls which are needed, the ethical factors, and they have given you live examples which have hit the courts. We had this fascinating example by Mr. Raghavendra about the metaverse and its possibilities. And I believe now there are metaverse disputes which, in fact, an arbitration which took place in the metaverse. Now, this is all something beyond us unless we experience it. It's a kind of virtual world where the performer, whom he mentioned, the opera singer, she was able to deliver her performance in the metaverse and her fans could see that. At the same time, there are some things which we humans uniquely possess: feelings, emotions, and compassion, and all those other attributes which make us human. And after all, let's not forget, AI was also created by a human. And let's not take away the fact that AI is also the product of not just a straight line thinker, but someone, AI, or for that matter, you're that wonderful man, Alan Turing, who created the computer. Now, what was the nature of his thought? He was an outlier. Bill Gates is an outlier. Every one of these giants, tech giants, is an outlier in the sense that they were unique in their thought processes. Now, that is what defines us. AI will only pick up as the AI that we know will pick up and predict and probably use it to the most amazingly efficient manner that we know its potential to be. Its processes are going to be faster, much faster than what we have experienced. Mr. Raghavendra mentioned that each time there has been a technological shift, humankind has been able to cope with it. And I completely agree with it. Humankind will cope with AI, The only thing which will always be stumbling blocks is our own follies, our stupidities. AI cannot cure that. Whatever stupidities we have, whatever follies we have, whatever warts in our brain we have, which result to wars, which result to these disasters, which result in greed, that cannot be cured by AI. But AI will be a powerful tool as long as we choose to use it. Otherwise, there are disaster. I mean, there are these dire consequences. I remember in the early 2000s, when I'm sure Padmesh must have been just a 6-year or 7-year-old child, we had this wonderful trilogy called the Matrix trilogy. Now, that is what you can visualize the AI to be, the AI created world to be. Well, it could be, but then I'm a pessimist. I don't think we will reach there because humankind will always produce someone who will be ahead of the curve. That's the peculiarity of the human brain, the genius of the human brain, because these outliers define our society. And I think all of us have confidence in that the essential creativity poets who write those beautiful words, which only AI will somehow aggregate, collect, and churn out and come out with what we think is original. Likewise, AI, I have seen photographs or rather images. You write out what you want and you get the product, which is an amazing painting, a graphic painting. But the fact remains a Leonardo da Vinci or a Raja or Ravi Verma's original products will always remain the same. It will have the same appeal. It's like, if I can liken it, in an older generation, when McDonald's came to India or Burger King, people felt that this is not right, this is not our culture. Of course, it's not. But at the same time, it did not drive away our dhabas, our aloo tikkis, and our bhel puri. It continued to thrive and it will always remain. So I think we should not be fearful of AI, nor should we be alarmist. We should be alive to what it is capable of, alive to its limitations, and as Mr. Raghavendra said, conscious of what we can do with it. And it has to, in the end, right from the beginning, remain a tool and never a master. Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your words. If anyone has any question, you guys please raise your hands and ask your question.
Good evening, panelists. Good evening, Honorable Justice Bhatt. My question is for Honorable Justice Bhatt. Good evening, sir. My question is for Honorable Justice Bhatt. Sir, we are all aware with the National E-Governance Plan and how the E-Courts mission over its 2 phases and the ongoing 3rd phase has made tremendous progress. But sir, my question pertains to, as a law student, to the very risks involved in digitizing the whole judiciary, starting from the bottom up, from the lower judiciary to all the way to the Honorable Supreme Court. And sir, everyone talks about the positives, but sir, as a former Supreme Court judge, sir, for you, and we also have the national judicial grade, which essentially means that converting the court into a paperless court, which means that all the judgment, all the cases, all the orders will be up on the cloud. So what are the risks involved in that? And sir, sub question to that would be, sir, as a lawyer, I've always been told that leading a lawyer's life is your interaction with the court. That means going to court every day, doing your filings, having that human interaction. But sir, with the e-courts thing, all that is slowly on the decline. You're doing everything online, virtually. How is that going to affect the legal profession? And so that is my question. Thank you.
I think you asked 2 or 3 questions. Let's understand the E-Court project. As I understand it, and it sounds good. It's a very, as an initiative, all this is good. But the real danger, which is the main theme of Padmesh, is equality, equal access. Will it grant or will it exclude? In our in our country, there is a large swathe of people who are not digitally literate. Let's forget about digital literacy. They are not even the digitization or digital courts are inaccessible. There's a challenge to spectrum availability. There is uneven distribution of internet coverage. The penetration is not the same, and you need, if you want to have a seamless video link where you can attend the court online, you have to have a certain amount of bandwidth. Well, that is not working. Secondly, our own courts, for instance, whether now we have set up huge infrastructure across the country. There are 23,000 courtrooms, 23,000 courts. Of course, not all of them are full. Of course, we don't have so many courts systems where many judges are without courts. And yet we have about 15 to 18,000 courts. And each court means, I mean, if I'm looking at Allahabad High Court, for instance, it has more than 100 judges. It's not the judges who matter. It's the footfalls. Every court sees Allahabad High Court sees a footfall of more than 1 lakh people every day, sorry. Which means that you have lawyers, you have litigants, you have judges, and you have a whole ecosystem, the chaiwala, the typist, all that is there. Now, I don't foresee that dismantling in the near future. That is one. So e-courts, the spread of e-courts is not going to happen as rapidly as we visualize it. Number one. Number two, definitely e-courts will improve and make our systems more efficient, in the sense that as the ramping up of the filing, digital filing, etc., will happen, and we go on to standardize. Even now in the Supreme Court, correct me if I'm wrong, a large number of judges still don't use computers. They use physical, paper, because to get acquainted and be comfortable, it itself takes time. And the same goes to lawyers across the country. So marching together will take some time. But the real challenge is going to be, what about the villager who's living in a remote area where he can't access the internet? How will he get assistance? That's where your first speaker spoke about that. And that is the most important challenge. How are we going to make that person or that woman aware of her rights and approach to the court? So that, I think, will pose a challenge for your generation, hopefully not the generation after that. Yeah. And of course, it's a misnomer to think that, all your data will go. From what I understand, your pleadings and your documents are not going to be uploaded. The load on the internet or our systems are going to be enormous if we start uploading pleadings. It's not going to happen. The only thing that is being uploaded is the information about the case and at the most some orders and judgments, which should be made available. There's nothing wrong in that.
Good evening, sir. My name is Alicia. I'm a second year law student. Thank you so much for those enlightening thoughts, and thank you so much. My question to Dr. Raghavendra, sir. So please tell us what kind of technology at the end of the day the American scientists or the technologists they used in, like, we have reached at this level. If we have reached at this level, what kind of technology at the end of the day have used, sir? And why we as a nation, we as a country could not produce such kind of technologies? So please tell us, please enlighten us on these two things.
And it's a very good question. Most of the technologies you see, whether it is Microsoft or Google or any technologies, software-based technology, the back-end work done in India only, because our IT companies do on the contract basis, whether it is TCS, the #1 IT company in the world, or Infosys, or you take any name. All these people do create and give it to them, ownership goes to them. But the very creation, the R&D itself involves a lot of moolah, money. Because government funding ours is around 0.69% of GDP. 0.69, where the average in the developing countries is a 2 to 3, whereas the US is about 8%. China is about 6%, Japan. So we have to reach that level. We are not able to reach that level because we have other areas of socio-economic development. We need infrastructure, we need roads. You see, 10 years back, our road infrastructure, train infrastructure, number of airports we have, number of metro stations we have, we are still growing. And also the health systems. So the huge population, we are not able to fund like that. The governments are involved. Even various Google technologies, US government is funding with the Google company. And we don't have that big companies do that. Of course, our whether it is Tatas or Birlas or Adanis or Ambanis, and including the steel sector, we are now the dominating. But these guys have to go into these areas. Recently, I've been invited by the Reliance internal meeting where about 4,000 IT employees, they gathered there. I gave a similar talk on AA and IP. They are totally focusing on 5G and 6G. If you see our Scindia sir, IT minister, Jyotiraditya Scindia said India should have at least 10% of 6G technology. That is the aim. No, we have become the sixth IP granting countries in the 6G technology. We are moving that level, but we need a longer time unless and until the government and private sector, even private sector funding is also important, but we can't match with the developed countries. So, but we are on the move. Hopefully one day we'll reach that stage.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, okay.
Good evening, sir. I'm a guest faculty at Law Center too. My question would be to Honorable Justice Ravindra Bhatt. So throughout the whole session, since the afternoon, one thing which remains in my mind, in fact, I was trying to write a paper on AI and access to justice. When we talk about justice and when we're using AI, there seems to be a lot of data manipulation, like we said. So instead of, like we have this phrase which says that justice should not only be done, but should be seen to be done. So in case if we start from the scratch, where we start from the courts below till the courts above, and we're using AI. So at the end, like the panelists, even in the afternoon, had mentioned about the same thing about the judgments being cited incorrectly because of the AI manipulation data. So are we really getting an aid from the AI, or is it increasing the workload of the judiciary at the end? So this is something which is going to be a difficult phase for the judges, because you would revisit everything that has been put forward because of the AI manipulated results. So sir, if you could just help me with this aspect.
See, either it's data manipulation or, as Mr. Raghavendra said, hallucination. So this is a challenge. Now, there can be two ways of looking at it. One is to feel alarmed about it. The second is that, after all, if the judge is a human judge, which he will or she will be, the judge will have to, obviously, any pleading or any argument made or any citation given, I think every professional judge will go through it and cross-check. Without citing, without seeing it, hopefully it will not be cited. That's the biggest check. As long as judges do that, the basic check, and maintain their professionalism, I don't think we should feel alarmed. But yes, it could be a cause of concern for society if our legal profession becomes completely lazy and starts relying so heavily on ChatGPT or anything like that. There are other ethical issues. If you do rely on ChatGPT for your research and use that, should you disclose it to the judge? Should you not disclose it to the judge? Or likewise, when you give an opinion, a lawyer gives an opinion about something, should he tell the client that I've used, some AI? We are using AI in a sense when we look at large databases. When you run a search on SEC online or Manupatra, obviously we're using some form of AI, but at the same time, you're using human discretion and the human mind to sift through that. Now, if we outsource that too, then our human ability is being compromised. I think that's where the real challenge is, to maintain that professional standards. Apart from ethics, the professional standards, I mean, in your world of teaching, also you can do the same when it comes to research. But there are already softwares which pick up and call you out for plagiarism, right? So same with this. We will also, I'm sure, come out with some tools which will counter that.
I feel that again, it's a question of how much ethically we are using AI. AI can be highly ethical, it can be highly unethical. So this difference has to be, recognized, and the laws, again, I would say, have to be very strict, because this will fall in the domain of fraud and forgery both. So if you start counting it as forgery, only then people will be arrested, and it has to be done. Otherwise, everything will go in the domain of fraud and forgery. You know it.
Yeah, last. Yes, sir, I have just noted it out. Sir, my question is from Justice Bhatt. Um, as you said that AI feeds on data. So there will be coming times in which judges will also start using the data to give the judgments, even for maybe for some routine matters. So what will happen when the AI feeds on the particular fact and that AI gives the judgment? And as time goes by, it collects all of the data and start giving predictive judgments on some facts in which that might go wrong also. So in that case, how can we ensure that the biasness and biasness and that biasness should be avoided? How can we do that?
We're looking at far ahead, maybe not too far ahead, because I think this, whether it's AI or any other technology, we should always see that as a challenge and a wake-up call. Because I always have been saying and maintaining that the way technology has outpaced life, and every generation, especially our generation, has seen so many technological changes. Just before this started, we were talking about the times when we had a duplicating machine. Then after that, we had electronic typewriters, electronic typewriters, fax machines, they've all gone extinct. Then came our old computers, 486 and all that. And now we have passed that. Everything was saved in hard disks. Even that has gone. Now it's all cloud. So the human ability to adapt is so fast. So it's amazing. At the same time, on the other hand, we have an ancient legal system in the sense that it has not adapted to technology. It has been resistant of change. Therefore, as long as we maintain this business as usual, unlimited argument for small things, and huge pleadings, there will come a time when the litigant public, corporations who are litigants, and even people get impatient and say, okay, we want fast justice. We don't want this kind of human justice, which is so uncertain, it's going to take us ages. Therefore, they will turn to shorter and shortcut solutions. And therefore, AI will come in. For all I know, it might be there I strongly suspect that it might be there in the revenue sector when you look at small refunds, etc. There are huge claims for refund in terms of volume. So each refund, some refunds which are certain below a certain monetary limit might be run through machines and you might get solutions. Likewise, for instance, in tax, when you file returns, the credit is automatically populated. So data pull-ins are already happening in the GST sector. So we have to be ahead of the curve. The question is not of judges. We have to professionally upgrade. Otherwise, machine will inevitably, society will demand that when all other segments of society are adapting to technology and using AI, using computers and computing and completely digitizing, why is this sector remaining as it is? Therefore, I think it's important for us to realize this wake-up call and find ways to use the technology, shorten our ways, and at the same time be aware that we should not fall into the trap of an easy solution.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, to conclude this insightful session, I would like to extend an invitation to our esteemed program director, Dr. Ajay sir, to deliver the vote of thanks. Huge round of applause for Dr. Ajay sir.
Okay. So first of all, thank you so much. And as we come to the end of this two technical session, and I assume that and also presume that this would be definitely enlightening for us, and this must be something path-breaking and brainstorming for us to think further about what could be possible, apprehensions as well as challenges when we have this AI as a tool for the assistance. So without further delay, I propose sincere vote of thanks and heartfelt gratitude to all the guests who joined with us today. And the first and foremost, I would like to thank our Honorable Mr. Justice Ravindra Bhatt, who is was the former Supreme Court judge and of India. And apart from that, former IPS and DIG Shri Ashok Kumar sir, Shri Dr. G.R. Raghavendra sir, and Advocate Padmesh Mishra sir for joining with us today and sparing their valuable time and also giving us the insight from the field they are coming from. Because it is a good, fortunate coincidence that we have a speaker from every field of this governance. So that is a good for us that we could get some knowledge and we can also explore it further in this regard. I also like to thank Professor Anupam Jha sir for guiding us throughout this event and supporting us for all the steps that we took in this particular program. I also like to thank the partners, that is HP Microworld and CPRLI as an event partner for giving us a continuous support, and that was so generous of them that they gave the priority or importance for this subject so that we can have this workshop at the national level and the capacity development program. And without further delay, also, I would like to thank the student volunteer committee, because without them, this program would not have been possible. And a special thanks to Mr. Vivek Trivedi and Madhu Yadav, who continuously were there for this particular program. So big round of applause for the volunteers of this program who have assigned here. And apart from that, I'll also like to thank to all the participants who have joined online, and the special thanks to the participant who have joined offline, because for such a patience listening that they have contributed and also asked the specific question at the end of the session, that itself is the reward that you have attending the session till the end and you are eager to know more about this subject. So definitely at the end, I would like to say that this will definitely a good enriching experience for us from the knowledge point of view and also from the future challenges point of view. So thank you so much. Now, I humbly request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा चल जगति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Now I request all the participants that they can join for the refreshment from the back door where arrangement has been done. And I also request all the volunteers to come here to join for the photographs, group photo with our esteemed panelist and the guest. Sir, please sit down. I request all the guests to please sit down for a minute and we'll have a group photograph. I request the volunteers to come forward for a group photo.
দশটা কথা শুনে যায় 10টা কথা শোনায় মনে মনে বাইরেও বলে ওর সাথে বলি
Thank you.